Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 135 people in 13 different countries, and it will be fabulous. Let's see. Yes, I am live. Good. It's always nice. Oh, thank you for my confirmation. So nice. Okay, so I'm super duper prepared. And this is the theme. I sort of renamed it a little bit last night, basically, because I felt like this was the old theme, inform yourself and your life. And I felt like it's just a little too vague. I mean, I had published at the same time some specific things that we would do during it, but I felt like it's a little too like intangible. Although it still is what we're going to do, but so I decided to just pick two of the most concrete things that we're going to do, which is clear repression and help you to hear angels better, your angels better. So that's sort of my new main title for this month. For this month's theme is clear repression, hear your angels. You know, bam, bam, etc. Etc. And so that's that. That's the theme, and it will be amazing. Specifically, this is July 2026, the triplet set, healing 1 of 3. And then later this month is the July twin set, which is a set of 2 healings, and that one is still for sale on my website. And my website is jwhealing.com. And that's my email address. Oh, I did want to mention 2 promos before we get going. And so if that freaks you out that I'm talking about sales promotions, just mute it for a second. However, they're pretty fun. They've been fun. So let's see if I can move it over. There we go. Okay. So I have gone promotion mad, and there's not 1 but 2 different promotions I have going on right now. So one of them is that if you get yourself or a loved one a new full subscription, you get 2 free sets, group healing sets along with that. Which, you know, if you're paying the regular rate, that's, you know, $50 a set, so it's $100 for just because I'm in a good mood and I'm promotion happy. So many people have taken advantage of that so far in the last month, and they've had fun and I've had fun. So, you know, if your mom really needs a subscription and you can afford it and you know that your life will improve if her life improves, then it might be something you want to seriously consider. And the newbie promo is different. That's a whole extra promo that I hashed up just because the new subscription promo was so fun so far. So the newbie promo is if you or an actual newbie, and in this sense, it's like a kind of a super newbie I'm talking about, someone who has never gotten group healings from me before. Maybe they used to get individual sessions, you know, 2 decades ago, but they've never gotten group energy healings from me. Then they're a newbie in this sense. And so if you get one of those people a set of group healings, then you get a free set as well, which you could use on yourself. You could use it on, you know, your brother who's gotten healings before, so he's not a newbie, but your life improves when his life improves, you know. So that's the newbie promo. And if you are an actual newbie, like maybe somebody who's been watching me for years but has never actually gotten a set where I heal you actually, then you're a newbie and you could make use of that promotion yourself, and get 1 set by purchasing it, and then get the other set for no charge. So you could do, you know, like the July twin set because you purchased it, and then since you're an actual newbie, I would give you the, you know, another set of your choice if you want, the, you know, the August triplet set or whatever. Okay, so those are my promotions. Get them now before I get tired of them. But so far they've been fun. Okay. So that's enough of that, right? So now I want to talk about today. What are we doing today specifically in this healing, Janet? Focus. Okay, so today, Thursday, the 2nd of July, 2026, healing 1 of 3. We will be doing very cool things. It's gonna be of course we're gonna do the 5 essentials, and my newbies really need the 5 essentials, and some veterans also need the 5 essentials. And I did want to point out too about the 5 essentials. I was noticing as I was like studying some sample people that the angels pointed out to me as I was prepping for the healing. This, even for the veterans, the sides back here of like the good karma windows back here, which are a part of your astral body energy system, the sides, people had damage on the sides in a way that I hadn't really noticed how prevalent it was before. So I'm going to be much more thorough repairing and unblocking and removing devices from the sides of people's good karma windows back there. So if you are a veteran and you know, repair your own 5 essentials on a regular basis, just a heads up that, you know, if you're getting this healing and it feels like better than usual, it's because the work on the sides probably of the good karma windows. But, you know, when I do it, I'll talk about it too. So that'll be during the 5 essentials. And I think I'm going to just do 5 essentials, bam, 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 you know, right at the start of the healing. So that's grounding or repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, and the back of head stuff, which includes the base of skull, acupuncture points, and also the good karma windows, which I was just talking about. So anyway, those are the 5 essentials. And I wanted to point that thing out about the sides of the good karma windows needing, that will get extra repair and device removal and unblocking today, because I noticed people's sides were leaky. Okay. So that's one thing. So that is just the I'm typing it out so I know to make a video chapter on that so people can refer to it later. So today in the 5 essentials, I'll be making sure to do a much more thorough job repairing, unblocking, and removing devices from the sides of the good karma windows. Okay, enough on that. So then now, what else? All sorts of goodies. So there are 3 other main sections of the healing today. Okay, so healing walled off parts of you is something that we do often, and it's a very cool and pretty simple technique where you people, you know, are not perfect, you know, so even if you're a therapist or an energy healer that works on hundreds of people in a year, you know, you still have a subconscious mind, you have a conscious mind, you have stuff that you're not quite ready to deal with. You have maybe leftover, you know, avoidance and resistance from past lives and earlier in this life and whatever, despite all your diligent work. You know? So you and a lot of people have walled off parts of you that you've kind of, you're pretending don't exist, even though they totally do exist and they're totally affecting you every day, and they affect how you interact with others, and they affect your boundaries with other people, your immune system, your state of mind, your quality of sleep, everything. The only thing is you are pretending they're not there. You have repressed the knowledge of those parts of you. So it's like these little mini yous behind these walls of denial and avoidance, right? And a lot of times people that, you know, do work their wellness, like that's something that they're not quite factoring in, like, oops, you know, you mean I'm really whacking my sister all the time, which is why she's whacking me all the time? I thought I was all love and light. What do you mean I'm whacking her? But, you know, you may have walled off a part of you that has a massive amount of repressed anger and resentment towards the sister. Maybe. So it's just an example. Not that I've ever experienced something like that. So anyway, but, you know, if you know, we've been doing this technique for a while, heal walled off parts of you, right? So why would any of us that have, you know, get all of these healings have any still parts of you that are walled off? Well, there's a specific reason why some of these walled off parts are still there. And that's that if you were to heal those parts of you, it would trigger other sort of baggage deposits that you have, like some fear or some shame or some guilt or, you know, whatever, right? And so while now you are ready to heal those walled off parts of you on some level, you don't want that stuff triggering, right? So that's why you haven't done it yet, even though, you know, we do that technique probably for sure every other month in one of these healings, right? So we'll just be smart about it. And first we'll clear the blocks that would trigger. And then we'll heal those walled off parts of you. And so I think this will be a much more effective thing, because you'll be more willing to heal those parts of you, because we already proactively got the blocks that would trigger out of the way. So we've gotten the fear and the guilt and the shame and whatever, you know, blah, 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 right? And so now you can just heal these walled off parts of you. The energy is okay again, so you get your energy back, and then the wall is dissolved because there's nothing to avoid, because you're already healed. You've healed those parts of you, right? So I think that'll be cool. And that's actually, I don't know if it's going to be the biggest part of the healing for people, but probably for at least half of the people, that'll be the most consequential part. And there'll be 4 parts of overall, it'll help boundaries and wellness, you know, both mental wellness, maybe even physical wellness for people, depending on the causes of what's going on with you. It could also help listening to angel messages, because the parts of you that we're going to heal are some of the most fearful parts of you, some of the most passive parts of you. Because sometimes you have boundary issues with people and you're like, why do I still have boundary issues with them? And it's because some of the walled off parts of you are like really, really passive and submissive, and you're not conscious of those parts of you because you're like, oh, that's not me. I'm not like that. You know, I'm empowered, you know? And so anyway, so we'll heal the most fearful parts of you, the most passive parts of you, the most repressed parts of you that you're ready to work on, of course, and the most resistant to authority parts of you. Resistance to authority is interesting because it's not like, you know, I'm trying to get people and myself to like submit, you will obey, you know? But the problem is, if you resist authority, resistance like messes everything up. So resisting it, like not in that sort of political you know, be part of the resistance. That's not what I mean. I mean spiritual resistance, which is kind of like, it's like a dumb fighting against, it's like a mindless fighting against everything. If you're resistant, you're just like, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. So you don't really consider the wisdom of something. You're just like, I don't think so. You know, so it's like you're just clenching, you know, and resisting, which actually in energy stuff is a weakness. You know, you want to just be non-judgmental and flowing and have your wisdom and your presence so you can consider things mindfully and consider your choices. That's much stronger on an energy level. So anyway, long story short, we're going to, that's one of the walled off parts of you. One of the types of walled off parts of you that will heal is some of the most resistant to authority parts of you that are healthy and gentle to heal right now. Because that one I stuck in because of listening to angel messages. Because like, for example, say your angels are like, yeah, it would be really good for you to go to bed in the next hour, because then you'll be sleeping during this certain meridian time and it'll be much more strengthening for you and help you with one of your core physical weaknesses. If you could just, you know, get to bed like an hour before that time, so then you'd have deeper sleep during that time, and because you need to rebuild physically, blah, 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 you know. So your angels are like, they know, and they're thinking about that, and they're helping you to time it. And if you have this part of you that's resistant to authority, that would include resistant to your angels. And so then you're just like, I don't wanna, you know. So it's sort of the cousin of, you know, if you have a stuck inner child part of you, but it's resistant to authority, I felt like was a little bit more of what I'm aiming for, to help you to just be mindful and, you know, able to consider your own inner wisdom and the wisdom of your angels' advice. So I hope that makes sense. So it's basically a lot of words to describe, you know, healing walled off parts of you, but first clearing the blocks that could trigger when you do it. Okay, so that's that. And as usual, hopefully it will be much faster to do than it was to explain. Okay, so this, I wanted to just explain the connections. This is one of the main parts of the healing as well. Inner silence, serenity, which helps you to hear your angels better. Because angels, they're just not like freaking out, you know, they have a very loving, calm vibe to them, and patient, and, you know, all that. So if your mind is really chaotic, it can easily drown out the messages that your angels are trying to mention to you. It's like, imagine if you had like 3 people screaming at you, and then you have one person just standing there calmly speaking in a normal voice. It's hard to hear that one person who's being calm and normal, because you have the other people screaming at you, right? So we're going to work that in a couple different ways, enhancing your inner silence and your serenity so that you can hear yourself think, and also more likely to hear your angels' messages to you and be able to actually have the brain space to consider the validity of the advice that your angels give you. So there are 4 little subsections for that we're going to do. We're going to recycle any fake angels that you have, you know, that you want to recycle. But, you know, fake angels is my term for just invasive beings that pretend to be all spiritual, you know, but they're really invasive, and they're kind of messing with you as they're, you know, advising you, you know, blah, blah, blah. These angels, actual angels, are altruistic, and they're not in your space. They're not courting you. They're not, you know, screwing with you. But that's kind of why they're hard to hear sometimes, because they're just standing there outside of your space being calm, you know. And so if you have a lot of chaotic, invasive energies within you, it can easily sort of drown out that calm, separate, altruistic angel that's trying to, you know, help you. in life. So anyway, so we'll recycle. So it's easy to do. We'll just ask your angels to recycle the fake angels, you know, the invasive beings that are pretending to be, you know, guides and whatever, you know, that are really just invasive. So we'll kind of clean house that way. We'll have your angels help you to clean house. And then I was noticing that some people have even like chatter. I'm going to call them chatter beings, like invasive chatter beings that just talk at them constantly or make a noise that they often hear, you know, like a buzzing or something. And, you know, I do want to say disclaimer. I'm not the type of person that thinks that there are no medical things that have medical solutions. You know, sometimes you can have a ring in your ear for a literally medical reason that needs medical attention. So just a heads up. I'm not saying, oh, energy healing will fix your life. You should refuse all medical treatment, Eastern and Western medicine. No. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying at all. So just a heads up, if you do have a medical issue, medical treatment is potentially very appropriate for you. You can consider both Western and Eastern medicine for your medical treatment. And it can be a very good companion to this type of work. However, you can have chatter beings or beings that, you know, give you like negative self-talk or, you know, just kind of talk at you all the time. And maybe you're like blocking it subconsciously so you don't hear it consciously, but it contributes to like a brain fog because of just the background noise that, you know, and it can really get in the way of your focus and your ability to hear angels, right? So we'll have the angels recycle any invasive chatter beings that are, you know, in your space or affecting, you know, hooked into your space. And then we will, the fifth good karma window in particular, and again, good karma windows are kind of like back doors into your astral body back here, astral body aura back here. So there are 7 of them, and each one relates to one of your astral body chakras. So fifth chakra is inner voice communication, hearing your own thoughts, hearing angels, communicating with others, inner silence, all that good stuff. So fifth good karma window, if that's like especially damaged or blocked, then that can make you overly vulnerable to this kind of chatter and chaos. So we'll do just extra healing of your fifth good karma window, just so that's nice. And so it's just for you back there. It's not like a, you know, open door to, you know, chaos and invasive energies. And then you may have your own baggage that causes you to chatter. Like I kind of have that a little bit. I'll say rather than just being silent, which I'm sure you're very aware of if you listen to my videos and my live streams. So I heard that that's a bit of an American thing or maybe a Western thing, that we don't allow silence because we want to like keep the microphone, you know, and not let the other person start talking, because we have more of a dominant conversational style. And then I heard, I don't know if it's for sure true, but I heard from a Thai person that in Thailand they have more silence, and so they don't like, you know, they just sit and think, you know, sometimes, or have silence when they're talking. So sometimes if they're talking to an American or somebody with a more dominant conversation style, they kind of don't get enough time to talk because the American keeps saying things like and just to keep the microphone, so to speak. So I think some of that is sort of a nervous, there's baggage with that. And I think for some people, it can get to the point where, I think a lot of people, it can get to the point where they're invasive with other people. And they might telepathically be chattering to their friends or business associates or family members, like almost nonstop, which can really be hard on, you know, the other people, obviously. So you might not know that you have that, because a lot of these, you know, if you have inner chatter baggage of your own, you know, maybe you've always been that way in this life, so you don't realize it. And maybe you grew up with people just like that. So again, or maybe they were even more like that. So you have no idea that you have a little bit of that yourself. So, you know, it'll be nice. We'll clear that inner chatter baggage if you have any that you're ready to clear. I did it again. But you know, back in the day, like I don't know if I still have it on my website, but I may. I used to have these meditation, just audio files, you know, meditation walkthroughs. And years ago, when I was making some of them, before I posted them on my website, I would spend so much time editing out each because it wasn't a video. It was just an audio file. So you can edit out all the and, you know, it just sounds like you don't have a problem saying all the time, you know, after you do it. But it took so long. I can't believe I went through all that just so that people didn't hear But anyway, fun fact. After a while, I get tired of doing it, but I spent an amazing amount of time doing it. So anyway, that should be interesting to work on. I think too, like, there is a bit of a gender thing with that, and not everybody has it, but I think some stereotypes are there because with many people they're true. And I think, at least in the US, a lot of women have chatter baggage, and men are less likely to have chatter baggage in the US. And again, that, you know, there are plenty of people who are the opposite or whatever, you know. But so it's possible that, you know, say you are a woman and you clear a bunch of your chatter baggage, it's nicer for you because chatter baggage, it tends to be anxiety driven. So then you're just more peaceful as you communicate, which is priceless, basically. But it could be that it's easier for the men in your life because then maybe you just, that inner stillness that you would be enhancing, maybe it makes it easier on their brains. Maybe you're less complicated as you speak, and you're less likely to be subconsciously telepathing, you know, very long and complex things all the time to them. So, should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. So this one is sort of the final of all the things. So there's the 5 essentials, the healed walled off parts of you in a more clever way than usual, the inner silence, helping you hear angels, and this is enhancing your self-love so you can better hear your angels, and just for life enjoyment in general. Self-love is 4th chakra in the middle of the chest, and your 4th chakra is like a feel-good, is I think the ultimate feel-good chakra. It helps you with so many things in life, and it's huge. It helps with self-esteem, self-love, self-care, a lot of the self things that you need. Compassion towards others, but like a balanced compassion, not a self-sacrificing, not like people-pleasing. You know, it helps balance that, so you take care of yourself as well. Holding the mic. So anyway, 4th chakra also helps with motivation. So like being your own inner cheerleader and, you know, enthusiasm, so you can, you know, have that drive and get things done. And also, you know, positive perspective, glass half full perspective, being able to see the bright side, also gratitude. So there's a lot of power and usefulness with the fourth chakra. So we're going to basically do extra direct healing on the fourth chakra, and the fourth chakra is both physical body fourth and astral body fourth chakras. And then fourth layers, both physical and astral body fourth layers of your physical body aura and your astral body aura. And then the fourth chakra filament, the connection, the energy connection between your physical fourth chakra and your astral body fourth chakra will repair and unblock that extra. So, you know, it'll just be a nice little fourth chakra, etc. clean out to help you with self-love. And how it is connected to hearing your angels is because your angels are very loving and, you know, mellow and kind and nurturing, and that's just their vibe. So if you know, have like a lot of resentment or guilt or whatever, you're kind of on a different radio station than they are. And so you're less likely to hear their messages, even as your own thought. And you're less likely to take their advice, you know, of like, yes, a nap would be perfect right now, wouldn't it? You know, and if you have too much bitterness or too much whatever, apathy, loneliness, all the blocked symptoms you might get from a blocked fourth chakra, then even if you hear that idea, you'd like immediately throw it out potentially. So if we, you know, strengthen your fourth, then you have more self-love, you have more self-nurturing. And so when your angels say something to you that of course is going to be at that vibe, you're more likely to not only realize that at least as a thought, and then you'll more likely be able to really seriously consider that advice. And it'll help your ability to receive. It'll help in a million ways, the fourth chakra self-love stuff. So that's the final aspect of the healing today that I wanted to explain. A lot of explaining today. But that's always true with the first healing in a triplet set. There's a lot of explaining. Just is what it is. This is one of my veterans, she's like, could you not explain so much? Just mute it. Get some coffee, come back, or, you know, take a nap and come back. I can't really not explain what we're about to do. Okay. So now we'll do pre-healing chat comments before we get going. With the healing. Okay. We can see and hear you. Thank you. Hi from Chicago. We can see and hear you. Thank you. 93 Fahrenheit and dusk. That's quite warm. Hey, Janet. We can see and hear you from sunny Truckee, California. That's interesting. You're not usually there. Truckee. I'm interested in how you pronounce that, where the emphasis is. Truckee, California, 69 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Hello, it is 92 and sunset in Washington, D.C. with an emoji of a goat. That's a little warm. Thank you for the healing. Yes, of course. You're welcome. My pleasure. Someone says, hello, Janet. Lately, I've been working with myself. I think you mean healing yourself. I feel a bit different and new visitors coming out to build a carrier in September. I have an art exhibit, hopefully opens my path to success. But yeah, sometimes I have downs. And when someone criticizes me or offends me, I'm not strong enough to protect myself. Lots of love from Italy. Well, thank you. Yeah, well, the fourth chakra work that we do today should be good for that. Also, too, in my short video playlist that's featured on my YouTube channel page, I think it's like the third one down on my YouTube channel page, short videos is what it's called, or shorter videos. There's one inner child healing, and there's one called like clear child mode baggage, something like that. And I think part of it is not just a fourth chakra issue, but like an inner child issue of like, you're kind of in a child mode of like wanting approval from others and all that, and like needing support versus, you know, validating yourself enough. I mean, it's not wrong to need support, of course, but you know, I think it's like there's, if you work those two videos, I think that could be nice. So inner child healing is one of those short videos, and clear child mode baggage is one of them. So you could look into those, work those. And that's the kind of thing where you work it over time, you know, like maybe once or twice a week, do both of them. And then, you know, just take good care of yourself in between. And then a couple days later or a week later, do them again. And, you know, just like kind of keep at it. Because then each time you'll be able to do more and more. Because a lot of that kind of stuff, it's from lifetimes, you know, many lifetimes of, you know, issues that kind of, you know, if you don't fully clear it or overcome it in one life, then you bring it into the next. So, but good luck on all your exhibitions. Good for you. Someone says, oh man, wait, I gotta make sure YouTube is showing me all the comments. And then I gotta find where I was. Someone says, oh man, I definitely have those passive parts. That's actually something I've been dealing with recently. Yeah. Yeah, I think the passive parts one, which is like a subsection of the heal walled off parts of you work we're going to do today, is especially helpful with boundaries. And I think, you know, if you have one person that just kind of always winds up in your space, like regardless of what you do, you know, how much you repair and whatever, like every major energy block you find, they're courting it already. And you're like, what's up with that? You know, I think this heal walled off parts that are, you know, stuck in passivity could be really cool for that. Someone says, hi, tuning in. It's 86 degrees in Southwest Michigan. Well, hello to you. Hope you're staying cool. Oh, wow. Brain fog beings. Yeah, I experienced a bit of brain fog. Lots of mind buffering, lag in mental processing. Yeah. I think sometimes too, when that's happening with you, not only the chatter beings, which will work on, you know, getting them recycled, but also the flaps of your creative rings just like open wide open, you know, and then you're just like this radio station that's receiving, you know, random communications all over the place, and your subconscious mind is like full of communication, you know, random stuff. So, grounding your creative rings more often and just like making sure the flaps aren't like wide open. The creative ring flaps, that's what they look like when they're wide open, right? They should just be like 3 gold rings without the flaps sticking open. When the flaps are open, it's easy for invasive beings and or people to cord those in the creative rings and just kind of send energy in, and then it comes right into your upper chakras and really occupies your mind. So yeah. And that's something for those that don't know, we do that in the creative ring section, which creative rings is one of the 5 essentials. So we do it towards the start of all the healings, creative ring work. But yeah. So yeah. So the stuff we're doing for inner silence should help, but also if you could do your creative ring work a little bit, because it looks like that's maybe the one of the 5 essentials that you do the least often on your own. That's what it looks like. You can let me know if that's the case. Someone says, that's interesting about silence. For me, silence equals someone is upset or mad, but I think that's some abusive childhood stuff. Yeah, I guess. Like silent treatment, like when you're a kid and somebody's like, I'm not talking to you. Yeah, no, this is like serenity, calm, an absence of chatter in your mind, which maybe you're not used to because your mother is a queen of chatter. So that that could be an important concept for you to really work is working your own inner silence. Um yeah, that's very interesting that the silence is not inner silence is not a concept that you're familiar with as a pleasant and attainable goal. Um, Wait, I think you said something else. Interesting. For me, silence equals somebody upset or mad, but I think that's some abusive childhood stuff. Yes, it is. Um, I think also you had a past life where, um, like you had a really weirdly abusive husband who would like not talk to you for months on end. But like for some reason you were, yeah, it was really weird. So he played a lot of head games with silence. Um, so yeah, you could clear baggage around that. Silence can be a good thing. Someone said, oh, and then you say your husband came from a much quieter household, so I bet he'll love that work for me. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. I think the men or the people who already have more mental simplicity and mental stillness and silence will appreciate that the other people that are the more chattery can work this, because it's not that you can't talk. I mean, I'm a big talker, but to be able to have that silence is huge, because there could be things your higher self is trying to say to you, or your angels, or just a way that your mind can be at rest that you're not getting to because of the chatter, either your own chatter or chatter from other people that is being invasive and coming in. So it should be cool. Someone says thinker healing walled off parts will help protect me from my mom. Oh, you think that healing walled off parts will help you protect you from your mom. She was particularly vicious last week when we visited her. Oh, interesting. I think my inner child was frightened. Oh, I think not thinker. Oh, yeah, I think, yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. Yeah, she's a funny one, your mom. I think part of it is like consciously, she never planned on being a widow. Like that was not in her playbook ever. Which, women tend to live longer than men, so, it's not a crazy thing that a woman might end up being a widow at some point in her life. And but with her, I think that she really has not come to terms with that she's a widow. And so it is still crashing her brain and making her very irritable. Because it's like, she could eventually move on and find a partner, but she's still very train wrecked on the fact that she's a widow, and that she's like, ma, this isn't happening. This hasn't happened. Ma. So there's like a very key part of her current reality that she's not really getting good at accepting. So I think it was around Father's Day maybe that you were there, or just a week or two after that. So it was especially triggered, I think. But we'll see if the healings can help her as well. What causes creative ring flaps to be open? Well, it's kind of like, if you put your foot in the door and then you kind of prop the door open even more, it's like if somehow there's a little damage, some hard objects thrown there and there's a little leak. And so then some invasive energies can kind of plug in, then it just gets more and more overwhelmed. And then at some point it's just a reaction to being overwhelmed that they all just pop open like, and then it's like a free for all, So maybe what began it, maybe a lack of grounding began it, like your grounding blocking up. And then maybe the grounding blocked up, so then some of your lower chakras blocked up, so then maybe you were less present, so then maybe somebody whacked you and you were less present, so that caused damage, and then your creative rings got damaged from that, and it just snowballs. So what caused it? Well, what started it, maybe a lack of grounding. And then it just snowballed from there. But, yeah. I hope that makes sense. So 5 essentials. That's why they're all 5 essentials. Because they all really help each other. Someone says hello from Ottawa, Canada. Hello to you. Severe weather alert. Rain and floods and heat. Oh my goodness. Canada had a birthday yesterday. 159 years old. Well, happy birthday to Canada. And yay for Canada. Long live Canada. Elbows up and all that. Yay for Canada. Severe weather. Speaking of which, Olympia, Washington actually is not that bad for mild weather if somebody wants to move and they're looking for a place that doesn't have dramatic weather. I mean, I can't guarantee the future here, but in the years that we've been in this area, Olympia, Washington in particular, it's like halfway in between Seattle and Portland. In the Pacific Northwest. I mean, the Pacific Northwest in general has more mild, less extreme weather than the whole rest of the country. But I think Olympia in particular has less dramatic weather than Seattle and Portland even. But then you don't have like all the good different international cuisines that you might if you were in a more populated city. But Olympia is the capital, so you get like enough benefits, social structures and roads and movie theaters and Costco's and all that. You just don't have the really as much good takeout of like different types of cuisines as you would if you were in Seattle or Portland. But the real estate prices are cheaper. So fun facts, since I will no longer be living here. I didn't want to say how great Olympia was before because I didn't want all my clients to move to Olympia because that would be kind of weird. I mean, you can if you want, but at the time, back in the day, I that's why I haven't been a big promoter of Olympia. But since we're leaving in a year, if you want, you all can move here. It won't matter to me. I like being able to walk around completely anonymously here. Alrighty, enough chit chat, huh? So I'll do a little newbie refresher on how this all works for probably only 2.5 minutes before we get going. So newbie info, my name is Janet Wright. I'm an energy healer and teacher. And during the rest of the most of the rest of the live stream, I'll be doing a group healing. I'll be healing the people that purchased this set of healings in advance on my website, which is jwhealing.com. And what else? You can heal yourself. It's like a walkthrough. I mean, my focus is doing a great job on the healing of the people that purchase, but at the same time, I explain what I'm doing out loud as I do it, so that anybody, including the people that purchase the healing, can learn the techniques if they want. And maybe they just want to learn one of the techniques, or maybe they want to learn all of them, and whatever. People are at different levels. So it's sort of like an all levels healing walkthrough. And essentially, we're using gold light that you generate from your hand chakra and your fingertip chakras. You set them to a metallic gold color with your intention. You don't have to see energy. This is gold glitter. That's why I show it, in case it helps you to see the color gold right before you imagine your hand chakras or your fingertip chakras. But you just set them with your intention, these particular chakras, to generate gold light, to be at a gold vibration, and therefore that's what the color of energy they're generating as they spin, which they do all the time. So that's the idea. And then you have a copy of yourself out in front of you, and you heal the copy. And as you heal the copy, you're healing yourself. So that's the basic gist of the whole thing. Anyone is welcome to purchase a set of healings on my website, even if I've never worked with you before, or purchase for a loved one. That's fine too. So that's enough said. And feel free to email me if you have further questions that are not explained on my website. Again, that is my website and my email address. Okie doke. Alrighty, so now I will do just like maybe 2 minutes, maybe it's 3 minutes, whatever, of quiet. During this quiet, I'm finishing my prep. I'm talking to the angels about the healing. I am talking to the 135 people that I'm about to heal. I'm saying hi to them telepathically, just so they're like really aware that the healing's about to start on a subconscious spirit level, so they can make the most of it. And that's it. And then when I start the healing, for the first minute or so, I won't talk. Maybe it depends. Like sometimes I'll just do the first minute quietly, or sometimes I won't. I'll just start talking and start the healing that way. But after that first minute of quiet that I may do, I talk the whole rest of the time and walk you through what I'm doing as I do it. And if I'm healing you, you can do whatever you want during the healing. You don't have to listen live. You can go to sleep. You can be with your kids. You can drive your car, you know, clean your house, whatever floats your boat. Take a nap. Alrighty. Cool. Okay, thank you for waiting. So use gold light, use your intention, set your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras to gold, metallic gold color, so that that's the energy they're generating. Use the gold light from one hand to wash out and unblock and repair the other hand, because the more that these energy centers are unblocked and repaired, the more energy they're going to generate for you. And I specifically suggest metallic gold rather than white. White tends to be, white is a higher vibration than gold, not better, just faster moving. And so if you're in the body, alive, having a lifetime, in my opinion, and from what I can hear from the angels, gold is better to use for healing and unblocking and repairing and all that. So then just have a copy out in front of you of your everything, your physical body and your astral body, and then your all your auras are all around you, and then your groundings. Make both your groundings wide as all your auras, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And sometimes people have one side of their grounding is fine and the other one is either all blocked up or kind of pulled in. So just check, like get a sense. You can even send like a gold ball of light down to the core of the earth on either side and see if it reaches the core, because if your grounding's blocked up, it might bounce right back up at you. You can't get the gold light all the way down. So just imagine the blocked parts of your grounding and use so much gold light on them that they melt away. So then you just have flowing grounding on both sides and in the center and in the back, all around. And bring up your grounding as high as your third chakra. So your third chakra is below your sternum. That's this bone right here, that's your sternum. So just below that, that's your third chakra. Your third chakra helps with so many things: taking action, finishing projects, quality of sleep. So if you bring up your grounding as high as your third chakra, then it gives extra support to your third, second, and first chakras, as opposed to having it low only at the level of your first chakra. So bring it up to your third chakra just so that you give that extra support to all those lower chakras. And indie grounding is where you use gold light and you use it on the outer surface of your groundings. And you melt away anything that's attaching to your grounding. There could be hard objects stuck there, melt those away. There could be just a connection where maybe a friend or a loved one or a frenemy is got their grounding connected into your grounding. And that's sort of a classic example of codependence, where like both people are kind of screwing with themselves and each other. It doesn't help anybody because what happens is you're trying to release stuff and then it goes, rather than going straight to the core of the earth, it goes to and blocks up their grounding, and then their stuff they're trying to release goes and blocks up your grounding. So if you have friends who you tend to both be messed up at the exact same time, definitely suspect that you don't actually have independent grounding. And you can change that. Just say, talk to that friend of yours just with your mind as you're working your grounding, and just say, hey, go ask your angels for help with grounding. Your angels can help you ground, and then wash them out of yours. Even if you have a young child, it's better for them and for you and your sanity if their grounding goes all the way down to the core of the earth and does not hook into yours. Because your 6-month-old kid doesn't need a taste of, your 40-something dramas in their grounding. It's not going to help them sleep properly. So there is a first chakra cord, though, between a parent and a young child, 12 years old or younger. But the grounding, it doesn't help anybody to have that linked up to somebody else. So just go ahead and I'm sending gold light not only on the outer surface, but also just inside there, so that it just sort of melts everything out of the way in that outer edge of your grounding. And again, just you can sweep together all the blocks so that even if you can't see all the blocks, you know, it's like as if you're sweeping a floor, you know, with your hands and gold light, and just sweep all the blocks into one pile that are in your grounding and surround them in so much gold light. You can even say, you know, angels, if there are any invasive energies hooked into this stuff, can you recycle those invasive energies? And then just keep using gold light to melt everybody out of the blocks, and then melt the blocks. Breathe into your body, breathe into all your major joints, your toes, your fingers, your hips, your knees, your ankles, your spine. All right, so good enough for grounding. Good job, good job. Woohoo. So, aura repair. So you have 17 auras. Try not to let that like melt your brain. But you know, astral body aura, physical body aura, those are 2 auras. And then you have the other 15 are this certain type of aura called a Wei Qi aura, which the angels told me about. So if you Google it, you're not going to find anything. But Wei Qi, W-E-I, and then Qi, right? So it's a type of Qi. It is a traditional Chinese medicine concept of strong boundaries, energy helps you to stay healthy, etc. You know, boundaries with others, blah, blah, blah. So Wei Qi auras, there's one for each of your major meridians, and they help nourish and protect those meridians. So they're good. So we want all your auras to be repaired and unblocked and flowing as much as possible. Flow is strength in energy stuff, as opposed to hardness. If you have hardness, if someone throws energy at that hardness, it cracks open much more easily. If it was flowing instead and unblocked, then if someone throws energy at it, it could actually bounce out or just kind of redistribute really quickly, so it doesn't make as much of impact. So anyway, so imagine all your auras out in front of you, all 17, and first just do a manual check, you know, with your intuition, your hands, your imagination, and just check for rips. They tend to look like big valleys or big gashes, or, I mean, if you have a lot of damage, it'll be as if like half of it's missing. And since you have 17, you know, don't freak out if you can't really sense each and every one perfectly or anything. The point is just, I mean, if you wanted to and you only had one damaged area, then you could manually just do that one area, repair that one area, which sometimes I do like to do. But what we're going to do now is composite copy technique, where you make a composite copy image of a rip and you say, okay, this rip represents all the rips that I have right now. And then as you repair that rip, you're repairing all the rips at the same time. So let's do that. So create an image of a rip and just say, okay, you know, with your intention, you say this rip represents all the rips I have right now. And then just use gold light to clean it out and gold light to repair it, right? So sticky gold wax is a way to clean it out. It's gold light for your hands that sticks to everything that's not you. So sticky gold wax, fill up that rip with sticky gold wax, and it'll form a lump and just, you know, cling to whatever's not you so you can lift it out all at once, right? And angels, here you go. Hand it to your angels. So sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk at once. Angels, here you go. So what is that junk? It could be hard objects from other people that got thrown at you, or it could be invasive people or invasive beings. So again, just sticky gold wax. Get it really deep so you get all the junk. Lift out all the junk at once. Angels, here you go. So now just gold light to repair. Get it as deep as you can. And you can also say, because sometimes invasive beings, they're attracted to the leaking energy from the rip. And so they actually get in the way of your repair. So you can just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this repair? And, you know, if you're healing yourself and repairing a lot of different things, you know, you might be saying that pretty much constantly to your angels. Your angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this repair? Right? Because it's just a useful thing. It makes things repair really fully to get the invasive beings out of the way. So that probably repaired most of your rips, but you may have one or two that were a little stubborn and are still there. So we'll just do that whole process again just for the leftover rips. We can do it faster, right? So just make an image of a rip and say, this represents my leftover rips that I might have, right? And then do the same thing, right? So sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And then as you're using gold light, say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of this repair? And maybe you start to feel like some spear that maybe you missed. So lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. More gold light. Get it as deep as you can. Again, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of the repair? And then you can just check the outer surface all around all your 17 auras just to see if you feel any leaks. If you feel leaks, do a little extra work there. You can pop out hard objects and just have them explode as they pop out, and then just use gold light. You say, angels, if there's any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? Again, check for leaks. Pop out the hard objects. Angels, can you recycle the invasive beings in the way? All right, and then you could redo your gold buffer zones. Those are just big gold low E force fields that you can create, and put one at the edge of your astral body aura and one at the edge of your physical body aura, and you can just recreate them in an instant whenever you feel like they're getting hacked away. Just keep recreating them. And they're flowy, so you know they help slow the rate of aura damage. Because someone would have to hack through that first before they start hacking through your physical body or your astral body aura. So that is aura repair. Unblocking. You can check, especially the bottom of all the auras. So your auras go all around you, right? And so they go under your feet too. And so if you have blocks down here, that especially gets in the way of you releasing down your grounding. So just check for any blocks like anywhere around here in your auras, especially. I mean, you don't want blocks anywhere, but especially down there, you don't want blocks. So use gold light and just melt the blocks. You can even check layer by layer down there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And always you want to, I would suggest that you always have the intention of doing what's healthy and gentle to do right now. So that it's just, you know, your intention, so that way you're kind of playing it safe. You want to do a lot, you want to change in a rapid way, but in a rapid way that is productive. You know, if you go overboard, then, you know, you create more problems than you solve. You know, because then it takes time to recover and blah blah blah. So just healthy and gentle. So we're just unblocking the bottom parts of all your auras to help releasing. And you could unblock anywhere else too. Just kind of, you know, have your hands kind of swim around your auras and see if there's, you know, any big blocks. And you can melt them away. And if you're like, Janet, I don't know, I can't find my big aura blocks, then just put them out in front of you. Just be like, okay, I'm going to just imagine those blocks wherever they are. I'm going to put copies of them out in front of me. So like, okay, these are my 10 biggest aura blocks. and say, angels, are these healthy and gentle to clear right now? So that way your angels will remove some of them if they're too much. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into these blocks? And then you do the rest, right? So you have, these are your biggest aura blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now, right? And so just, get everybody out. Bring up red earth energy if you want, from the core of the earth, and just use gold light from your hands and melt cords from people, melt yourself out, melt everybody out. Use so much gold light. And once you get everybody out too, you could blow them up. But I tend to, sometimes I do blow things up if I'm healing myself. That's nice. But you can just keep using gold light until they fully melt too. Deep breath. So that's a nice way to unblock your auras in kind of a fast way. Just be like, okay, these are the biggest blocks. Angels, is it healthy and gentle? Angels, can you recycle the invasive beings? And then just, use so much gold light, you cook everybody out and melt them all. Oh, right. Good job. So that was repairing all the auras at once. We did some unblocking, and then we redid the gold buffer zones as well. Good job, good job. Let's celebrate with some confetti. We haven't done that yet today. Woohoo! Good job, good job. You're amazing. Okay, so creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3. They are a part of your astral body energy system. Your astral body is you as a spirit. It's part of you, the part of you that can be fully present if you're, if you're unblocked enough and everything. Versus, like, it's not like your higher self. It's not what I call your astral body, the part of you that would always be on the astral. It's the part of you that can come in and be in your hands and your legs and your physical body chakras. So your astral body chakras can fit, ideally, if they're repaired and unblocked, both sets of 7 chakras, your astral body 7 chakras can fit right into your physical body 7 chakras if you're fully present. If you're partially present, maybe only astral body 7, 6, and 5 fit in, and then 4 is too blocked up or damaged. So then you're like half out, 4, 3, 2, 1 are kind of near your physical, 4, 3, 2, 1, but not in. So anyway, so creative rings up here, right? A part of you as a spirit, your astral body energy system, right? 3 gold rings, 1, 2, 3. And I did show a diagram earlier. So that's what they look like when the flaps are open and overwhelmed. So you don't want that. You want just a smooth outer surface of each of the 3 gold rings. But that's like a top-down view, right? So just make a copy out in front of you of your creative rings. And use so much gold light that you're melting away cords from people out of your creative rings. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my creative rings? And if you feel like you still need to do that, say that more times, you can just say angels, invasive beings, angels, invasive beings, angels, invasive beings, if you just said it before, or you can even say angels, repeat, repeat, you're asking your angels, again, that kind of idea. So if you don't want to say the whole, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting my creative rings? Say it once first, and then, or just have that, once you set up that understanding with your angels, then they know what you mean. If you say angels, invasive beings, please. But why you might have to say it multiple times, even just while you're still working your creative rings, is because they might not recycle all of them at once if that's going to create too big of a shift for you that you can't handle. So maybe, you have to say it like 3 or 4 times as you're working different areas in your creative rings. And you can pop out any hard objects that are stuck in your creative rings that maybe got thrown at you at some point. Pop out the hard objects. You want to unblock the middle part of the ring, the center of it, so that your 7th chakra energy can fountain out nicely, and you can bring in positive change energy and whatever else of your energy you want to bring in this way through the rings. And you can unblock above and below your creative rings. You might have people that are especially fond of being invasive with your creative rings. You know, maybe one of your siblings, or, you know, I don't know, an ex-partner of yours, or I used to have a therapist who, once I realized it, then I made her no longer my therapist, but she was really fond of courting my creative rings, you know, subconsciously. People don't know they're doing it consciously, but it's kind of a thing. Some people, they think they're helping you, you know, so they don't realize they're doing it, but they're kind of invasive helpers. So you can just melt them away with gold light. And you can bring up purple earth energy straight from the core of the earth to soak your creative rings. Purple earth energy would be too fast moving a vibration for, like, say, your lower chakras. But for your 7th chakra or your creative rings, it's fine, you know, because if you do the rainbow system, like, purple is a kind of a natural vibration for your 7th chakra. So anyway, you can imagine your creative rings and bring up purple earth energy straight from the core of the earth and soak your creative rings in that. And it could be that the work you just did with any of that stuff, the grounding, the aura repair, or the creative ring work, caused invasive beings to pop out of your space, but maybe they didn't get recycled. They just left of their own volition, but they're kind of like lurking, you know, like waiting for you to be more imbalanced and less grounded, and so they can come back. So I call those invasive beings lurkers, the ones that are just, you know, they're in the outer perimeter, maybe a foot away, maybe 10 feet away, but they're kind of still keeping an eye on you to make trouble later. You can just say, angels, can you recycle my lurkers? And that's like a really good thing to do on a regular basis, just so that, you know, no need to have troublemakers trying to wait for their opportune time, right? Okay, good job. So that was creative rings, repairing and unblocking, and recycling lurkers afterwards. So chakra repair and unblocking, all at once. We'll do all of them at once. So major chakras and minor chakras. So minor chakras is just my term for everything that's not like 7 physical and 7 astral body chakras, all the other chakras. So like all the acupuncture points, those are chakras. They're just smaller, but super cool. And you have other chakras, you know, just in your limbs and stuff, just to keep the energy flowing properly. So anyway, all your major and minor chakras of your body and your spirit, that's what we're going to repair and unblock right now, to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now, right? So just have your intention be healthy and gentle. That's what you're going to do. This is a basic chakra shape, an open cylinder, equally open at both ends, rather than a cone shape, which I do not recommend, because why would you want one end much less open than the other? Because openness in this sense is for flow, and the more flow there is, the more you can be present. A lot of people confuse that term open, like that you don't have boundaries, but open in a chakra sense is like flowing, you know, like just so. And the more flowing and unblocked it is, the more you get to be present. So anyway, yada yada. So create an image of a chakra out in front of you and just say with your intention, okay, this represents all my chakras, basically all minor, all major chakras of my body and my spirit, right? And then just use gold light. You could use red earth energy. That's like a safe bet for all your chakras. So bring red earth energy from the core of the earth if you want. Soak this composite copy chakra in red earth energy and use gold light. And melt cords from people going into your chakras. Typically they'll be like in pairs. So like, you know, your invasive sister might be cording you with a pair of cords around one of the round openings of a chakra. But anyway, just melt cords from people and melt the baggage that those cords were hooked into. If there's any damage, you can repair that. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this work, this chakra work? And chakras, the round opening, they have flaps too, much like the creative rings. So this is what they look like when they're overwhelmed. The flaps stick out. And maybe they're not all stuck out, maybe just, you know, one's here and here, because there's like a giant set of cords going in right there. But whatever, just imagine the flaps, see if they're closed or open. And since this represents all your chakras, probably some of them are open, of course. So it's more useful to think about the flaps when, you know, you're just repairing one chakra at a time, and then you can see, oh yeah, the flaps are open, or oh, they're open in front but not back, you know, whatever. But anyway, you can just think of all the chakras and all their flaps and just calm them all down, melt cords, unblock, so that the flaps more and more relax and fall shut. And again, it's just the flaps that are shutting, not the flow going in and out of the chakra. It's just the flaps around the outer surface that you want shut. And you can melt the energy blocks in place. You know, maybe they're stuffed inside the chakra or wrapped around the outside, or, you know, stacked around the round openings. But you can also just lift out the blocks, like leave the composite copy chakra right there and lift out the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, so they're above, and then just saturate that with gold light. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked up to this junk, can you recycle them? And then you melt cords from people and melt the blocks fully, or blow them up once you get everybody out. So again, here's your composite copy chakra representing all your chakras. Lift out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to clear right now. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then use so much gold light. You melt everybody out, melt their cords out. And then you can blow it all up or just keep melting with gold light. Deep breath, breathe into your spine. Breathe into your chakras, your limbs, all your joints. Check your grounding again. Imagine you're grounding out in front of you. Comb through it with gold light from your hands. Some people, you know, if don't realize like how fast your grounding can block up. Like you could be fine, you worked your grounding, you meditated, your grounding is like a thing of glory, and then you start doing your taxes and like 5 minutes into it, your grounding's all blocked. Because maybe, you know, stuff got triggered and, you know, whatever. And so then you tune down a little and then your grounding blocks up. You know, so it can happen quickly, but fortunately, you know, you can get good at unblocking fast as well. So, and then since we have this composite copy chakra that we're working already, you can make sure you lift out the hard objects, maybe sticky gold wax the whole chakra, and have the wax stick to the hard objects and cords from people, all that stuff, any devices that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. So sticky gold wax your chakras and have the wax stick to all that junk, and then lift out the wax and just give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, sticky gold wax all your chakras, have the wax stick to anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, including devices, and lift all that out at once. Angels, here you go. And then now, without that in the way, you can do extra repair. All right, deep breath. So you can get rid of that copy out in front of you. Good job, good job. Let's celebrate with some butterflies. Woo, you're so amazing. Woohoo. All right. Okay, so the back of head stuff, there are two parts to that. One is the base of skull points, those acupuncture points right around the base of your skull. So we'll do that, but we'll do that second. First, we'll do the good karma windows, especially the sides of them, just because I talked about that in the intro, and I want to do extra healing on the sides of the good karma windows, because I noticed that people have devices and drama and, you know, damage blocks more on the sides than they do anywhere else in the good karma windows. So what are good karma windows? They're like back doors to your astral body aura, which can be really good. It'd be one of the many ways that you bring in your new positive change energy. But if they're not repaired, if they're damaged, it can be a way that invasive energy comes into your space and kind of overwhelms you. So we don't want that, obviously. So we want to repair and unblock them, keep them nice so they're just for you. So this is the basic shape of a good karma window. It's just a triple frame window, nothing too complicated. The inner part of it's flowy and like transparent. So like for the first one, since red is a good color for your first chakra, if you set your first chakra at the base of your spine to be red, then that first good karma window closest to your head would be a red color, because your energy, if your energy in that layer is red, it's going to be that energy, that color. Of course, you could have stuff glommed onto it that's not you, that's a different color, you know, but anyway, so that's the basic shape. But it could be all banged up and dinged up, or it could have hard clampy objects on it, or, you know, the center could have a spear in it from your, you know, bitchy sister. I keep using the sister as an example today. It's just funny. So anyway, so you have 7 of these good karma windows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And if you do the rainbow system for your chakras, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, you just set with your intention that those are the colors that you want for your chakras, then they're the same colors: red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, right? But you don't really have to worry about the color. I mean, just repair them and unblock them with gold light and red earth energy, and that's fine. But again, the sides of them, rather than just the top and the bottom, the sides of them. So I'm going to be extra careful to get the sides repaired and unblocked enough for everybody. And you can repair them one by one with a copy out in front of you, or you can make a composite copy of all 7 of your good karma windows that looks like just one of them, and say, well, this represents all 7 of the good karma windows. And that way, you know, maybe that's something you like, maybe it's not. And you could sticky gold wax your composite copy good karma window, or like all the individual ones, and just have the wax stick to the hard objects and the stuff that's not you, and lift out all that junk at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Have the wax stick to the hard objects and blocks and cords and whatever, and lift all that junk out. Angels, here you go. And you may have 1 or 2 stubborn invasive beings that already were sort of woven into your good karma windows and anchored into one of your chakras. So if so, like maybe they're still like hanging on and it feels kind of weird. So I like to think of it as like when you weed a garden, you know, you want to get the weed and you want to get the roots, right? So just that would be the weed, and then the root would be, you know, wherever it's anchored into one of your chakras. So you just imagine if there are any invasive beings like that, you can imagine them like a rope or something, you know, and just freeze them with your intention and get the roots and just drag it all out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze it, drag it out. Angels, here you go. You can also say, you know, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my good karma windows? Angels, here you go. All right. Good job. So that was repairing and unblocking the good karma windows, especially on the sides. So now we'll do the other back of head thing, which is the base of skull points. Base of skull acupuncture points. And my favorite diagram. So here we see so those meridians that you're seeing right there, from left to center is gallbladder meridian GB, the blue-greenish one, and then the yellow one is urinary bladder. And then that midline one going up the back and hooks around the head and ends in the roof of the mouth, that's the governing vessel meridian, GV. Gallbladder, urinary bladder, and governing vessel. So that's going to work right now. So the base of skull points, they pretty much form two lines, and then I'm going to keep doing the GV ones, that the midline meridian, all the way up to the top of the head. So that's GV 15, 16, 17, and then 18, 19, and 20. So GV 15 to 20, and then just those both rows of your. So sometimes I just repair them like this, looking at them in sort of like life-size version, which is kind of tiny. They're pretty tiny chakras. And they don't like send energy out into your aura. They just send energy onward in the meridian, depending on the direction of flow in the meridian. So the chakra is like fits in the meridian and it just sends it along the way. So chakras, they generate energy and they keep it flowing. So right now I'm doing GV meridian. And you just unblock and repair them. The meridian knows the proper direction of flow. If you want to know, right there, just that gallbladder meridian, the green blue one, it's going downward right there. I'll make a little pointing down little image for you. Hope that doesn't confuse you too much. And then the urinary bladder meridian is going downward right there. And then the governing vessel meridian is going upward right there. Let me know. Working on the gallbladder meridian, that green blue one. And you just unblock it with, you can use red earth energy, but also gold light. And just let the chakra relax and unblock and repair. If you notice any hard objects, you can pop them out and then repair the damage. And I'm working the urinary bladder meridian now. Just the part of it that we see in this diagram. One down the head, back of the head. And if it's like feels really tight when you're working it, like sort of like narrow, rather than like flowy, unblock the auras behind it. In each of these meridians right there have their own Wei Qi aura. So that Wei Qi aura is especially beneficial to that meridian, but really all 17 of your auras are impactful there, all around, so just you could comb through all your auras, comb through the back of your head and comb through all your auras, behind your head, just to grab up all the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now, and make a big pile of them and just say, angels, you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, and then just melt everybody out of the blocks, melt their cords, melt yourself out, and melt the blocks. Again, comb through. So you're combing like through the back of your head and outward, just to drag a bunch of energy blocks into one place. Comb through the back of your head, through those base of skull points outward. Drag out a healthy and gentle amount of energy blocks. And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then just keep using so much gold light. Melt everybody out. Melt their cords out. Melt yourself out. And melt the box. And you might have like one or two invasive beings that are like mostly out, but like kind of clingy a little bit into that base of skull area. So you can make like a big red grounding into that, from the core of the earth up to the base of your skull area. And you can also just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are still in this base of skull area? And you can imagine them like clouds or ropes, and just say, angels, can you recycle all these invasive beings? And invasive beings are attracted to leaking and to energy leaks. So if you always find, an area with a lot of invasive beings, say in this base of skull area, look for if one of the chakras is leaking energy, and then just pop out the hard objects and repair the damage. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in the way of the repair? Also, if you find an area with a lot of invasive beings, sometimes there are tunnels, which, is kind of a freaky concept if you're like, oh my God, she's just like scary things. So you can say, angels, can you handle, if there are any tunnels, just handle it. Angels, handle it. If you say angels, handle it, and you're a newbie, they will help you out, so don't worry. But if you're not a newbie, or maybe you're a brave newbie and that didn't freak you out, just, you can just, there could be tunnels, the little passageways, so that maybe that's why there's a whole bunch of extra invasive beings in a certain area. Because that's where the tunnel opening is. So you just say, angels, if there are any tunnels around, back of my head, can you recycle all the beings that have come through those tunnels? And can you recycle the tunnels and seal it all up? And if that's too much to remember, just say, angels, can you deal with the tunnels here, please? What you're talking about. Okay, that's nice. So let's segue into, well, that first, let's celebrate, because that is the end of the 5 essentials. We have now done the 5 essentials. Woohoo! Yay! You're a rock star. Woohoo! And obviously it doesn't need to take that long. If you get used to it, you can use it. I have a video experienced version, 5 essentials, that doesn't give all the explaining parts. So, because once you've heard the explaining, you don't need it every time. And that walks you through all the 5 essentials in just 17 minutes. It doesn't do good karma windows though. but it does basic skull points and all the other essentials. So that could be a nice video. It's in the short video playlist on my YouTube channel page. It's called Experienced Version 5 Essentials. Or you could search YouTube, Janet Wright Healing Experienced Version 5 Essentials, and you'll find it. Alrighty. Good job, good job. So, I just want to do a quick extra thing there that I thought of when we were working the back of head stuff, which is so let's unblock and repair the joints in your spine. So I have a little handy diagram, 2 diagrams there. So the big one, right there, that's a view from the back of 2 vertebrae, 2, vertebral bones, right? And the light blue parts, those are the joints. So the facet joints, F-A-C-E-T, is pronounced facet. Those are the ones in the back there, the ones you can see better, light blue ones right there. And that allows your spine to, twist and turn like that. So those we're going to unblock and repair if there are any leaks. But also the disc joints, those are the ones that it's sort of in the front of the diagram, so you can't see it super well, but it looks like if you have like an Oreo cookie and the stuffing in the middle of a cookie, that's what the disc joint looks like, right? So it's just a big bouncy thing in the middle, hopefully bouncy. So you can kind of see a little bit where it's pointing to in the diagram. So just go ahead and imagine your spine and all the vertebrae, and imagine your disc joints and all your facet joints. And you can use red earth energy, soak them all in red earth energy, and soak them all in gold light. And you want your energy and your body's energy to be able to flow freely up and down without any slowdowns, without any like weird frenetic energy. So just look for any leaks or like sort of traffic jams. And if you can't sense any of that, just use gold light everywhere. It's fine. And you might have people cording some of the energy blocks, so just melt the cords and melt the blocks. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my spine joints, the joints in my spine, can you recycle those invasive beings? Deep breath as you do this. All right, good enough for now. Good job, good job. Woohoo! You're amazing. So now all right. So first, we're going to proactively clear blocks so you're not overly triggered doing this. And then we will heal walled off parts of you. And I explained all this in the intro, and later it will be its own little video chapter, the explaining part for this. It'll probably be called heal walled off parts. So first, we're going to do 4 different types of walled off parts of you. First, we'll do the parts of you that are most fearful and heal those, get that out of the way. Okay, so it's easy. I promise. Not a big deal. So let's make sure your grounding is nice first, because with grounding, you can do anything. All right. So recreate both your groundings. Make them nice and big and wide all the way down to the core of the earth, and make a copy out in front of you of both your groundings, and just double check. Melt away the blocks. You don't want the grounding to kind of gather towards the bottom like a funnel. You want to melt away the blocks that are making it do that, so that it just relaxes and stays all the way wide, all the way down to the core of the earth. That way you can release whatever energy is not you down to the core of the earth, which then cleans it out like a little laundry service and gives it back to whoever it belongs to. Okay, great. So, so you can put a big old blanket out in front of you, just imagine a big old blanket out in front of you, and pile onto it energy blocks, right? Energy blocks that would trigger if you were to heal the most fearful parts of you. You know, not like maybe most, but the ones that are healthy and gentle to work right now, right? Those most fearful, walled off parts of you. Before we do that, what's going to trigger if you do it? And just put all those blocks out in front of you. And then just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? So that way your angels can sort through it. And maybe the pile goes from like this big to like this big, you know, because your angels sorted through it, which is fine. And then just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings courting this junk? And then you can do the rest. Just use cold light, melt everybody out of these blocks, bring up red earth energy if you want, and soak the blocks in red earth energy, which just starts the releasing, you know, helps you to be more separate from these blocks. And just keep using gold light until the blocks are melted, or once you've melted everybody out of them, just blow them up. All right, good job. So we'll do that one more time, just a little faster. So big old blanket out in front of you. What's going to trigger if you clear, you work these fearful parts of you? Just put all that junk out in front of you. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings plugged into this stuff? And then you do the rest. Red earth energy, bring that up, soak the blocks with red earth energy, use gold light, melt everybody out, melt their cords out, melt yourself out. And then if you're healing yourself, you can blow up the blocks or just keep using gold light to melt them fully. If you have any left over, just wrap it up in gold light and give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Right, so now we did it. We did our proactive clearing. So now we can do step 2. Just heal the walled off parts of you. So it should be much easier now because we, you know, prepped. right? So just imagine just the ones that are healthy and gentle to deal with right now, right? So you can imagine the walls, images of your denial and avoidance walls, and then an image of these parts of you that are pretty fearful, right? And there's subconscious parts of you maybe, or maybe you're conscious of these fears, it doesn't matter. And keep it away from you enough so that you don't experience the fears. Just these are little parts of you, right? But you're separate. You're like the smart, big, powerful energy healer, right? And so these are just parts of you that are especially afraid, right? And that you've walled off, right? And so then just be nice to those parts of you, be comforting, use gold light, say, hey, it's okay, you deserve a healing. Some of these parts of you could be from past lives. Some of these parts of you could be from this life. While you're running gold light through them and red earth energy through them, you could just ask, like, are you, like use your intuition about if they're from this life or not. And then if they're from this life, you could say, how old are you? In case you're curious. But you don't have to. Just melt them away with gold light. When you heal these parts of you fully, then you get the energy back. The energy's all healed. It's no longer scared. And so it looks like you're melting it away, but it still exists. You just get the energy back. It's not walled off anymore, right? So just heal these parts of you fully. And if you feel like it's hard, just say, angels, can you help me do this? So again, we're healing the most fearful parts of you that are healthy and gentle to heal right now. And you can keep putting more parts of you out there like that. If you finish a couple of them, just find a couple more that are healthy and gentle to work with. Parts of you that you've walled off that are especially afraid. I just be nice to them. Hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. It's all right. It's okay. I'm a big, powerful, eternal spirit. It's okay. You can say that you are a big, powerful, eternal spirit, so it's okay. Try to comfort these parts of you. Say, angels, help me heal these parts of me. And then, so most likely now, all those parts are gone, right? Because you got the energy back. It's no longer stuck in fear. And if any of the walls are still existing, you can melt them because you don't need them because those parts of you are all healed. Right? So go ahead and melt your denial, avoidance, and resistance walls. But they may have melted automatically, which is fine too. Okay, good. Good job. So deep breath. How do you feel? Do you feel more brave? And so then we will heal the most passive parts of you, right? That may be really contributing to your boundary issues with certain people in your life that are invasive. You could have parts of you that are like, oh, I can't do it. I can't keep them out or whatever. And they're just kind of giving up and letting everybody in. So we don't want that, right? So just imagine, first we're going to proactively clear the blocks, right? That might trigger if you're dealing with these passive parts of you, right? So make a big old blanket out in front of you, put all the blocks that would trigger if you were to heal these most passive parts of you, put all the blocks out in front of you and say, angels, can you check this pile, make sure it's healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting these blocks? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then just you do the rest, just lots of red earth energy and gold light. Get everybody out of these blocks so that you can clear them. You could blow them up once everybody's out of them or just keep melting with gold light. And you can do another batch, gold blanket, any blocks that are going to trigger if you heal these most passive parts of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath. And then you do the rest. Red earth energy, gold light. Clear these blocks. And if you have any left over, just wrap them up in gold light. Say, angels, can you help me with these? Okay, so you did your prep work. So now you can do step 2, just heal these walled off parts of you that are especially passive and contributing to your boundary issues with others. And, you know, it's not to blame the victim. I mean, you know, these parts of you have been through a lot maybe in this life or past lives or both. For goodness sakes, we're not victim blaming here. We're just, you know, acknowledging that these parts of you need and deserve extra TLC, right? Nothing wrong with that. So just imagine the parts of you that are the most passive but are healthy and gentle for you to work with right now. And so you don't have to feel those parts of you though, right? Just imagine them out in front of you like little mini yous, right? All lined up, and imagine the walls of denial and avoidance that you have used maybe accidentally, you know, to wall these parts of you off, right? So there's the most passive parts of you, and then the walls of denial, avoidance, and resistance that you have. And then just heal, you know, heal these parts of you. Be nice. Be like, hey, it's okay. You know, I'm strong. I'm an eternal being and I can heal you. You know, I'll make it okay. I'm strong. You know, I just heal these parts of you. Gold light, you don't have to feel, you don't have to re-experience what these parts of you have been through. Just use lots of gold light and red earth energy. You can say, angels, can you help me do this if you feel like it's hard? Just heal these parts of you, and you'll notice that, you know, some of them just dissolve right away, and then you get your energy back all healed up. And if there are any that are still there, just say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? And once those are all healed, you can melt the denial, avoidance, and resistance walls because, you know, you don't need them. And then we could do another batch, right? So again, your intention is you want to do what's healthy and gentle to do right now. And you imagine the most passive parts of you that are healthy and gentle to heal, right? And so little mini yous that are very passive, and then the denial, avoidance, and resistance walls right next to them that you've been using to kind of disown these parts of you, right? And just leave the walls in place for now and heal these parts of you. Just say, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. I'm big and strong. I can heal you. That's what you would say to these parts of you. You are big and strong. You're big and strong, eternal soul. You have angels. You're powerful. You know, it's okay. Help is here. And just heal these parts of you. Lots of gold light, maybe some red earth energy. Again, you're healing the most passive parts of you that are healthy and gentle to work with right now, right? Lots of gold light. So most likely, most of them are melted away. Any that are left, just say, angels, can you help me with these? And if you're already done, you can put different ones out in front of you that are very passive and heal those parts, right? So once they're fully healed, then you don't need these denial, avoidance, and resistance walls, so you can melt those away too. Deep breath, breathe into your joints, breathe into your body, your spine. Check out your auras and your groundings. How are you doing? How are your boundaries? How large and in charge do you feel right now? All right. So we have 2 more that I'm going to do. And if it's too much for you, you know, if you're healing yourself right now and you just don't feel like doing more, you don't have to, you know, you can come back to it later. You could say, angels, can you help me with this in my sleep? Yeah, that's another way to do the work. So now we're going to do the most repressed parts of you that are healthy and gentle to work with right now. That's what that H and G is. All right. So we're going to first proactively clear the blocks, and then we're going to heal these walled up parts of you that are pretty super repressed. For some reason, probably a very good reason. You've been through a lot in your different lifetimes, right? So anyway, let's clear first. So big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any baggage that would trigger if you were to work with these most repressed parts of you and heal them, right? So put all that baggage out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Let your angels sort through it. And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are cording into this junk? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then you do the rest. Bring up red earth energy, gold light, melt cords. Get everybody out of these blocks. And then you could blow them up if you want, or melt them with gold light fully. Deep breath. All right, one more time. Big old blanket out in front of you. Pile onto it any baggage that would trigger if you were to heal these very repressed parts of you. All right. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings cording into this junk? And then you do the rest. Red earth energy, gold light, melt the cords, melt everybody out. And melt the blocks. Any left over, just wrap them up in gold light. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right, so you did your prep work. So now we'll do the real deal. Heal those most repressed parts of you that are healthy and gentle to work right now. Right? So imagine these little mini yous out in front of you that are pretty repressed. And if you're in doubt, if it's too much for you, just say, angels, is this a good, healthy, and gentle amount to work right now for me? You know, because everybody's different, right? So imagine these very repressed parts of you, and then the little denial and avoidance walls that you put up to kind of disown these parts of you. And then just be comforting and nice and use gold light and red earth energy. You don't have to feel what these parts of you have been through. Again, you don't have to re-experience. If you are re-experiencing, just kind of push them out a little further from you and heal, you know, further away. That's fine. So lots of gold light, red earth energy from the core of the earth. Just be nice and comforting to these parts of you. It's okay. I'm big and strong. I can give you a healing. You say, angels, can you help me do this? Can you help me heal these parts of me? And so probably a lot of these parts of you have already melted and you've gotten back the energy all healed up. But if you have a couple extra parts, just say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? And just breathe while your angels help you out. And then once all those parts are dissolved, you can melt away the walls of repression, denial, and avoidance. So we'll do another batch of those in case it's needed. So if there are any other parts of you that are very repressed that are healthy and gentle for you to heal right now, just imagine those little mini yous that are repressed and your avoidance and denial walls, and just leave the walls up first and just heal those parts of you. Gold light, red earth energy. It's okay. I'm big and strong. Don't worry. I'm going to heal you. You deserve a healing. Angels, help me heal these parts of me. It's okay. It's okay. You deserve a healing. It's all right. All right. So if any of those parts of you did not get fully healed, just wrap them up in gold light and be nice and gentle and caring, and give those parts of you to your angels. Angels, can you heal these parts of me? And then go ahead and melt the walls that you don't need anymore. All right. Good job. Good job. So then the parts of you that are most resistant to authority, that's going to be a little hard to fit into that banner there. So I'm just going to say versus authority. The parts of you that are most resistant to authority, I'll just say versus authority. To represent the parts of you that are most resistant to authority. And again, resistant as in that the spiritual resistance of like a weakness where you're just clutching and kind of mindlessly going, no, 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 you're kind of stuck. Right? That's the resistance I'm talking about, not the, you know, be empowered and fight oppression kind of resistance that sometimes you hear that term politically. This is just spiritual resistance, like, you know, the stuff that's not healthy. So, okay, if you were to heal the parts of you that are most resistant to authority, what would trigger, right? Let's clear it proactively, right? So big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it all your baggage that would trigger if you were to heal the most authority resistant parts of you, right? Get all that baggage out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through that. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are courting this junk? Deep breath. And then just run gold light through all this baggage, all these energy blocks, and melt yourself out, melt everybody else out of these blocks. People could be courting subconsciously. So just melt all the cords, get everybody out. Once everybody's out, you can blow up the blocks if you want, if you're healing yourself, or just keep using gold light until the blocks melt. If there's any left over, wrap them up in gold light. Angels, can you help me with these? All right, so we'll do that one more time. Big gold blanket out in front of you. Pile onto it whatever is going to trigger if you were to work healing these parts of you that are authority resistant. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this baggage right now? And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? Deep breath, stay here, wiggle your toes, and then just lots of gold light. Get everybody out of the pile, melt cords from other people, get yourself out, get everybody out. So it's just a bunch of energy blocks, and then just keep using gold light. You can blow up the blocks or just fully melt them with gold light. All right, if you have any leftovers, just wrap them up in gold light. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with these? All right, so you did your prep. So now we get to heal the walled off parts of you, easy peasy, right? So just imagine little mini parts of you that are the most stuck and resistant about authority figures. Female authority figures, male authority figures, governmental authority figures, religious authority figures, family authority figures, whatever, right? So these resistant parts of you that are just like, resisting authority, right? Just put the images of those parts of you out in front of you with your little resistance, avoidance, and denial walls that perhaps you have blocking those parts of you off so you're not conscious of these parts of you, right? And then just say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me? Use lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy to kind of calm these parts of you a little bit. Say, hey, it's okay. You deserve a healing. It's all right. I'm a big and strong eternal spirit. I can heal you. That's what you would say about yourself. It's okay. You deserve a healing. It's all right. You say, angels, help me heal these parts of me. So if those parts of you are all melted, then just melt the walls too. Those resistance, avoidance, and denial walls. Okay, so then we'll just do one more batch of those little mini parts of you that are most resistant to authority, but are also healthy and gentle to heal right now. Right? So imagine the little mini yous that are very resistant to authority and the little walls of denial and avoidance. And just be comforting. Say, it's okay. You deserve a healing. And use gold light and red earth energy. Heal these parts of you. It's okay. It's all right. You deserve a healing. It's okay. You've been through a lot. It's all right. It's okay. You can heal. It's all right. And if any of those parts of you are still there, they haven't fully healed and dissolved so that you get the energy back, just wrap those parts of you up in gold light and just hand them to your angels very gently. Angels, can you heal these parts of me? And then any of those denial, avoidance, and resistance walls that you don't need anymore because those parts you were healed, just melt the walls. All righty, good job. So the rest of the healing, we're going to do it like a speed round. So I'm not going to keep explaining in the wordy way that I normally do for the next 2 sections when we work inner silence and serenity so that you can hear your angels better. And when we work self-love so that you can hear your angels better and feel motivated and just positive. So in the speed round, some of the abbreviations that I'm going to say, I'm just going to say angels, healthy and gentle. So then your angels will double check to see if it's healthy and gentle to clear all that right now. And then I'm going to say, so I'll just say angels, healthy and gentle. And then I'll say angels, invasive beings. And so the angels will recycle any invasive beings that are plugged into the baggage that we're about to clear, right? So I'll just say angels, healthy and gentle, angels, invasive beings. And so you could say that too with your angels, so that they, in case you just get bored of saying these wordy things all the time. And I need that just because this healing is, this live stream is, I don't want it to be like a 24-hour live stream. So anyway, so now you know the abbreviations. This will be its own chapter. So you know the abbreviations that I'm using for the rest of this live stream. Okie doke. Okay, so the first thing we'll do for inner silence is to recycle fake angels. And I already explained this. Basically, you can have invasive beings that are pretending to be wise and beneficial and all that. Maybe they're wearing flowy robes or they talk in a solemn voice. And so you kind of got fooled at some point in some lifetime. And, but they're just fake. They're not actually angels. So they're just probably courting you, taking your energy while they're pretending to be, altruistic advisors, right? So you have real angels. Everybody has real angels. So just imagine your real angels all lined up in a row. You have your real angels and you have a real spirit guide appointed by angels that, is also helping to guide you and also altruistic, right? So your real angels and your real spirit guide. And then imagine the fake ones, any ones that you think maybe are, spiritual, but they're not, and, whatever, advisors, fake angels, whatever you think they are, right? But they're not. And just imagine the 2 groupings, right? With your intention. Okay, here are the real ones. Here are the real angels. Here's all the riffraff, right? That's pretending. And say, angels, can you please recycle all the invasive beings that are pretending to be, respectful and spiritually woo-woo, right? So angels, can you recycle my fake angels, basically? And then your angels will do it for you. And just breathe, maybe unblock your grounding while that's happening. You know, maybe align your chakras, you know, gold light up and down your spine while that's happening. And we'll say it one more time in case you have so many that your angels had to do it in batches. So imagine your real angels and your real spirit guide, and then just any riffraff that's pretending to be altruistic and, you know, beneficial, but it's just invasive. I say angels, and you don't have to envision perfectly. Just say it in your mind. Angels, can you recycle the fake angels? Angels, can you recycle all the fake angels? And, you know, you can do whatever you want right now while your angels are doing that. You know, give yourself a little massage and your liver 4 point right here. Large intestine 4 point right here. You know, right there. Or, you know, nice red grounding for the back of your head. Now, if you have agreements with fake angels, we could clear those. So if you have any agreements with these unhealthy invasive beings, you can imagine those agreements like big pieces of paper, you know, all stacked up. And so these are the unhealthy agreements that you have with fake, you know, invasive beings that are pretending to be wonderful spiritual beings, right? And so just use gold light. And you can say, angels, help me to, you know, clear any of these agreements that are not in my best interests. And just use gold light so that the agreements can melt away. These unhealthy agreements can melt away. And then you can say one more time in case there were some beings that you had agreements with, even though they were really skanky and tricky and deceptive, right? So you say, angels, once again, if I have any fake angels, can you recycle them, please? All right, done deal. You're a rock star. Good job. So similar process. We're going to recycle chatter beings. So these are just invasive beings you may have that they're very engaged in telepathy and sound. And so they may, you know, pipe in negative messages to your mind, like hateful self-talk kind of stuff, or, you know, whatever, just constant chaos or little noises or something. So you can imagine yourself, and you don't have to be perfectly clairvoyant. Just imagine a blob for yourself if you want, but just imagine yourself, and then just imagine these chatter beings that you may have. Maybe they're in your space, or maybe they're just outside your space because the scaling's so fabulous you knocked them out temporarily. And just imagine all the chatter beings and just say, angels, can you recycle all these chatter beings? And you don't have to imagine, you can just say it. Angels, can you recycle all the invasive chatter beings that I have? And your angels will understand. Deep breath. And you can say that one more time, just in case you had so many that your angels need to do it in batches to make it more gentle for you. So once again, you can just say angels again. So maybe there's a whole nother batch they have to do. And you can say that a few times if you think there's more batches. Angels again, please. All right, good job, good job. So we did good karma windows already, but we're just going to do again the fifth one a little bit extra. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So the fifth one, which is it's inside the fifth astral body or a layer that wraps all around you, right? And so it's kind of a backdoor to your astral body fifth chakra and your astral body fifth layer, right? So you want to make sure there's no devices in there, no damage. So again, this is the basic shape of the good karma window, any of them. And so just imagine the one that's in the 5th layer back here of your astral body, 5th layer, and just repair it, especially the sides. And use gold light. You can bring up blue earth energy just for this 5th good karma window, because blue, like a medium or light blue, is a great color for your 5th chakra. And just heal it with gold light and blue earth energy. Nice blue soak. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with this 5th good karma window, can you recycle them? And we could just do really quickly your both of your 5th layers of your auras. Just lots of gold light. Clean everything out that's not you. Unblock. And you're in front of your 5th layer, there's a gold mesh called, I call it your telepathic mesh. And it's gold, and it's right here in front of your 5th layer. And you want that to be just nice and gold and flowy and repaired with no rips, no cords. So just use so much gold light that you get everybody out of it. You melt the cords, you repair any damage to it. It just kind of resonates with your outgoing telepathy. So just keep that nice and repaired and unblocked. Get everybody out of it. And real quick, your 5th chakras. So imagine both of them together as a composite, your 5th astral and 5th physical. Just melt the baggage. Melt the cords. So angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my 5th chakras? Again, 5th, number 5 in the throat. All right, good enough. And the last part of this section, clear your own chatter baggage. So we did 5th good karma window, but then we did 5th layers. And telepathic mesh. Oops. And we also did 5th chakras. All right, so that's what we just finished. Okay, so then now okay, so big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any baggage of yours. It could be anxiousness, could be self-consciousness, like shame, embarrassment, whatever. Any baggage of yours that you have from this or past lives that causes you to have like a mental chatter, either with yourself in your own mind, but it's you chattering, or with other people, either out loud, verbally, or telepathically. So all your chatter baggage, put it on the gold blanket out in front of you. The angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Take a deep breath as your angels sort through it for you. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? I forgot to use my abbreviations. And just melt everybody out. Melt the cords and melt the baggage, or blow it up. Again, big gold blanket out in front of you. Pile onto it your chatter baggage. Angels, healthy and gentle. Angels, recycle invasive beings. And melt the baggage. Gold light, melt it all away. Or blow it up. All right, so that's clearing your own chatter baggage. Good job. Woohoo. Yay. So all that work we just did was for inner silence so that you can hear your angels better, hear your own thoughts. You know, sometimes your thoughts can be much more productive that way. It can help focus. Lots of good things. Now for self-love, which also helps hearing angels, motivation, all sorts of good things. We'll do a speed round for 4th chakra healing and unblocking, 4th layers, and then 4th chakra filaments. Oops. You have a 4th chakra filament that connects your physical 4th chakra to your astral body 4th chakra. So you can imagine both physical body and astral body 4th chakra separately, and imagine the filament. So if you set both your 4th chakras to your favorite shade of green, and then then the filament, the natural color would be green. And just keep using gold light to unblock it. And repair. You can have, you know, hard objects stuck in it. You can have people cording it. That's a pretty invasive way to do it, is to cord someone's chakra filament. Definitely, of course, I would never recommend doing that. Bad karma. But anyway, just melt everybody out of it. So it's just one flowy green connection between your 4th physical and 4th astral body chakras. And then you can unblock both of them. Repair any damage. Pop out any hard objects. Repair the sides of your 4th chakras. And you might find that the plus of repairing 4th physical and 4th astral separately is you might find that one's fine and the other one is not. Or maybe they're both damaged in the same way. So sometimes that's kind of interesting. But just melt all the damage, melt the blocks, pop out the hard objects. Any devices, just pop them out, lift them out, loosen them up with gold light, hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And just use gold light and repair your 4th chakras. You can lift out any baggage that's healthy and gentle to clear from both of your 4th chakras and melt them away. Melt the baggage. Lift out the baggage. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? Melt the baggage. 4th layers. And 4th chakra rivers. So 4th chakra rivers is just because the energy flows in the front of your 4th chakra and then out the back to the 4th layer, right? And then it goes all around the 4th layer to the front, and then it flows in again, right? So this is the front 4th chakra river, and this is the back 4th chakra river. So just unblock those. And again, your intention is you want to melt away and clear what's healthy and gentle to do right now. You don't have to become perfect right now. Just do what's healthy and gentle. Unblock your 4th layers. So right now I'm doing astral and physical at the same time. I'm just imagining, you know, as if you're fully present in your 4th chakra. So the astral and physical 4th chakras are in the same place. And 4th layers are in the same place. And 4th chakra rivers. And if there's any discomfort or tightness, you know, that could be damage or devices or invasive beings. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings causing discomfort around my 4th chakras, can you recycle them? And always a nice one. Angels, can you recycle my lurkers? Right? Because maybe all that work popped out some invasive beings, but they're lurking, seeing if there's going to be an opportunity later to mess with you. So get them recycled. Angels, can you recycle my lurkers? And you know, with detailed chakra work, like say you're just working one chakra, like the back of your physical fourth chakra, go ahead and look at the back of your physical fourth chakra, right? So this would be, you know, it wouldn't be gold, it would be green if you set your fourth chakra to green, but it would have flaps like that, right? And the energy would be flowing out the back of it, right? And so you just check, is it flowing out the back in the left side, the right side, the top, the bottom? You know, is it, because sometimes, you know, one whole side will be blocked up and maybe it's an invasive being. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings right here? And just make sure it's flowing out the entire back of the chakra. You can expand the chakra. So like the whole back of the chakra looks giant, just so you can notice any sort of dead zones that, you know, nothing's releasing, and just use gold light, unblock it, and check the flaps. You know, you want them to be shut so it's a nice smooth round opening. So check the back of your physical fourth chakra and just see, you know, if anything's stuck open, maybe there's an invasive being that's cording. Angels, can you recycle any invasive being that's cording the back of my physical fourth chakra? Use gold light. Maybe you have a hard object that's stuck there. Maybe it's been there for a long time, but you weren't present enough to feel it. You were kind of numbed out. So just notice if there's any hard objects. Maybe it looks like an axe blade or a spear or something. Just use sticky gold wax to stick to the object, and then lift it out, ease it out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Have it stick to any hard object stuck in the back of your physical fourth chakra. Lift out the wax with the objects. Angels, here you go. And then without those hard objects in the way, you can repair more easily. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And then say, angels, repeat, please. Angels, repeat. And remember, we did the spine, right? The spine, the facet joints. So there might be some facet joints right around your fourth chakra that need extra unblocking right now, you know, to help that fourth chakra flow out the back of your physical fourth chakra. So check your facet joints and your disc joints right around where your fourth chakra is. Make sure they're nice and unblocked. They're not leaking. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my spine joints in my spine? So that can be a nice combo: fourth chakra work, physical fourth, especially in the back, and, you know, your spine, disc, and facet joint. Right, good job. What a rock star. Okay, I was just taking notes because later there's going to be a healing outline within like a day or a day and a half in the comment section. So people that didn't watch live can see what we did at a glance. Even people that watched live might want to see at a glance what was done. Okay. Okay, so let's wrap up. Of course, we'll redo grounding first, but then we'll clear STEBs, which are stubborn triggered energy blocks. And then we'll just repair and unblock a little bit really quickly your 7th to 8th connection. Your 8th chakra is part of your higher self. So it's like it has a lot of wisdom of yours from past lives that things you've learned already. So it's good to be able to access that knowledge on an ongoing basis during your life, right? So first, just check your grounding. You can recreate them, make them a different color if you want. Both the same color though, but just different than before if you want. Just test what color releases the most for you right now. So make both your groundings red, see how that is. Make both your groundings orange, see how that is for you. Make both your groundings yellow, see how you release with that. And you can keep it at yellow or change it back to red or orange if that worked better for you. But again, both those astral and physical body groundings, if they're the same color, it helps you be on the same page and be as present as you can be while you're awake. When you're asleep, you can, have a purple grounding or something on the astral. It's fine. Go wild. So anyway, imagine you're grounding out in front of you and just use gold light for your hands to unblock both your groundings. Make sure they're nice and wide. They don't funnel down and get all clogged at the bottom. So melt any blocks causing them to funnel. Use gold light around the outer surface, on the inside and the outside of that outer surface, just to melt everybody away, melt hard objects. Scoop together the blocks in your grounding. Angels, can you help me? Can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then just melt all the blocks. All right, so that was a little ungrounding, grounding and blocking. So make a big old blanket out in front of you, put onto it any STEBs, stubborn triggered energy blocks, things that are still triggered, right? On any level, for any reason. Maybe because of finances, because of politics, because of something I said, whatever, right? All those blocks out in front of you. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? And then you can do the rest. Big red earth energy, soak them in red earth energy, use gold light, melt everybody out. Melt their cords, melt yourself out, melt everybody out. And melt or blow up the blocks. Beautiful. Okay. So final thing for the healing is the unblocking and repair of the 7th to 8th connection. So this drawing is highly simplified, but it's that bucket-like thing. That's your 7th chakra in the top of your head. That chakra right there. And then set that to your favorite shade of purple. And specifically your astral 7th chakra is the one that has a nice gold flowy connection to your 8th chakra. 8th chakra is either a foot above the top of your aura if it's close by, or if your higher self could care less what you're doing right now. Say if you're watching some stupid TV show, your 8th chakra may be like 7 or 8 or 9 feet above the top of your aura. It doesn't matter. Either way, there's still a gold flowy connection between your 7th and your 8th chakra. So imagine that gold flowy connection and see if it is gold or if it's all like caked on with yucky stuff. Yeah, just use gold light and heal it and unblock it. And if there's any hard objects stuck in it, pop them out and have them explode. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my 7th to 8th connection? You might have people cording your 7th to 8th connection, maybe. Definitely melt those cords away. And you can unblock your astral 7th just a teeny bit more. So and just ask yourself, is this connection flowing enough so that I can receive, like in sort of a pure, undistorted form, my higher self wisdom? that I need. And if not, you know, maybe unblock that connection a little more. Imagine the blocks and melt them away with gold light. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So as we wrap up the healing, just ask your angels for help with that. Say, angels, can you please help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you please help me to clear repression? Clear unhealthy repression? And angels, can you help me clear anything in the way of me hearing angel messages? All right. So that's a healing. Good job. You're amazing. Woo, 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 woo. Yay. Good job, good job, good job. Oh my goodness. What a healing. Oh, right. Okay, so the healing is done. The energy healing portion of this live stream is complete. So I'm going to take a quick restroom break, and you could too if you would like, and maybe just get up and walk around a little for a moment. And then I'll come back, turn the camera back on, and I'll just do stretching for a moment. Don't feel like you have to copy my stretching. Just if you want to do stretching, just go for it. Because it is nice because we've been sitting actually technically for too long. It's not healthy apparently to sit and not move for this long. Oops. So anyway, but then we'll do a little post-healing chat. We'll chat about energy healing topics. You can put in the chat, you know, how the healing was for you, how you're doing, you know, since the healing. And if you have any comments about the theme or any of the techniques that we did today. And I'll try to keep the post-healing chat a little on the shorter side, maybe like a half hour long. So I might scan through and prioritize the newbie comments over the veteran comments if I need to. But if I didn't speak to your question or your comment, you could always repost it under the video as a video comment. And eventually I would get to it and post a video comment under your video comment. Okay, so that's that. Let's take a break. So I will get rid of the camera so you don't have to stare at my empty chair while I'm not here. Oh, you know what? I'll show this image too. This is a nice little food for thought again. I showed this before. So that's just interesting, I think, to see the difference in size. They're both super important chakras at the bottom of your foot, but the upper one is the kidney chakra, the first chakra of the kidney meridian, kidney 1, which starts in the bottom of your foot. And then the big one is your foot chakra that brings up earth energy through your legs to your first chakra. Okie doke, I'll be back. Hi, I'm back. So I'm just going to stretch for a moment. You could too if you want, but just do whatever's gentle for your own body. And then we'll do our chat. Izzy's drinking a whole bunch of water. Oh yeah, okay. It could be just the bottle, the bowl's too empty, so then he has to like lap a lot to get some. That could be what it is. Hello, hello. Hope you had a good break. La 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 la. Okay, so I'm gonna look to see what comments I haven't read yet. Thank you everybody for your chat comments. And if you haven't done it yet, if you could give the video a thumbs up or the live stream a thumbs up, either way, it does help. If you want to do that, it would help. Let's see. All right, I'm just looking, see where I left off reading. So someone says, hello, Janet and everyone from Las Vegas, 96 degrees at sunset. Wow, wow, wow. We'll see what temperatures are like where I'm going to be in a year, well, over a year, just over a year. Well, maybe a year and 2 months, something like that, in Thailand. We'll see if it's 96 degrees at sunset in Thailand. We'll see. But thanks for the weather report. I hope it was a pretty sunset. Someone says, happy birthday, Canada. Yes, happy birthday, Canada. Someone says, wow, I had to go back to an email from 2022 to remind myself of my angels' names. Right when you said angels recycle fake angels, I forgot one of my angels' names. Got it now, though. Well, alrighty. I'm glad you're all set with that. Thanks for the emojis. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Loved the fourth chakra, fourth layer work and the inner silence stuff. My mind is quiet in a nice way. Ooh. Totally not used to that. See? Yeah. Having inner silence can be a very positive thing. Tranquility. totally not used to that. Yeah, because like intuition also too. Like intuition works much better with inner silence because then you have time to like, you know, let an idea bubble up from your subconscious or, you know, just let yourself intuit something. You know, because like sometimes it just takes a second. And if you have so much chatter, then you don't get that second of silence before you realize something. You know, so yeah, silence is really valuable. Inner silence. Lately I've been going through a bunch of friendship shifts, most recently with friend, and you mentioned his initials, thank you. Male, I've been way too passive in these friendships and I plan to heal more walled off passive parts of me for this, but also feeling a bit sad because I've shifted a lot of, I lost my place, of course, shifted a lot of 20 plus year friendships. Well, I mean, the fact that you had 20 plus year friendships, I mean, I guess, you know, some people think that's normal, but plenty of people don't have 20 plus year friendships. So, you know, I think it, yeah. So you could look at that glass half full, glass half empty, you know. But anyway, not to devalue your grief, you know. I mean, if you lose something, you know, it might trigger grief for sure. Was thinking turtle exercise would help for making new friends. Yeah, I think you as a spirit, when I look at you, you're kind of like, I want to take a break from making friends for a little bit. Because you're like, you know, I overgive and I just like become what they want me to become. And so I don't really know who I am enough right now to not keep doing that with new friends. So you're like, I'm just going to take a new friend recess. You know, I'm just going to be my own best friend for a little bit. Not forever, but it looks like there's this, you know, personal transition so that you don't, because it's a lot easier to transform and then make a friendship rather than transform with an ongoing friendship. So, yeah. So you and your angels are sort of giving the thumbs up for the friendship recess. Hope that makes sense. And you can double check that, of course, yourself and see what you think about that. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Been trying to heal cords with sun. Yes. Okay. A young son trying to just heal and unblock the cords that you have at the first chakra, I would think. And you mentioned his initials, thank you. And he's receptive when doing so, though in real time, he's been very cruel to me and his sisters. Interesting. Have also asked angels about health. And, yeah, let's see, now I totally lose my place there. Okay, have also asked angels. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, I'm really trying, but it's so hard to do this. It's like I can read past lives, I can do all sorts of stuff, but scrolling in a YouTube comment section that's really cramped is harder. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Not easily. I'm just going to keep it. Okay. I've also asked angels about health, and is it true I'm just hearing that it will just have to continue? I've been suffering a lot lately and feeling defeated. From what I can hear, your angels keep saying the phrase new doctor, new doctor, new doctor. So I don't know if there's a chance that you have to get like a second or a third opinion or how many opinions you've already gotten. But yeah, they keep saying new doctor, new doctor, new doctor, just because like some doctors have different, you know, they all have this similar training, but what they bring to it is different. And they're, you know, somebody's intuition may be more strong than a different doctor, you know, and they may just have whatever. So that's what I'm hearing is new doctor. So you can double check on your own and see what you think about that. And then I don't know if you continued with all that comment. No, that was it. Okay. So to backtrack, because you did a two-parter, you asked about your son being unkind to his sisters and to you. So that's kind of interesting. So he's kind of in a bully space. So sometimes bullies, they're channeling. They're not really present. So it does look like that with him. Like it's not really his energy. Like he pops out and is like somewhat aware of what's happening, but not so much. So when you then try to, you know, let him know that his behavior is not acceptable, he'll either keep channeling that aggression or he'll come back and be really confused at what you're talking about because he wasn't around for it. So it's, I mean, somebody, you know, people are like, oh, is that possession? Well, kind of, but invasive beings are, you know, everybody has some, you know, so it's not like, you know, oh, get the priest, you know, kind of possession, you know, like, oh my God, you know. But yeah, it looks like he has some invasive beings. So what I would say is you can ask your angels to give him clean outs. You know, angels, can you please clean out my son of any invasive energies that are contributing to his bullying behaviors? You know, that kind of thing. Just ask that. You can ask that twice a day. It wouldn't be too much to ask your angels for that. And also, I wonder about his protein levels, like, because if you have blood sugar issues, that can, like, I have blood sugar issues, like, you know, I'm hypoglycemic, so that means that my blood sugar metabolism isn't like a person who doesn't have blood sugar issues. Like I'll have to have very regular amounts of protein. So I generally, when I have a meal, it's like there's so much protein in it, and if I try not to have too much sugar. I really keep track of that. And I'll definitely front load the protein first and get that running through my system before even like some apple or something. I'll try not to. Or if I have like I'll have like a half a piece of bread with some butter, you know, before my protein. It'll just be like the smallest amount because I don't want too many carbs before I get the protein in to keep me stable. So you might think about that with him, like, because he might not metabolize blood sugar in the same way as his sisters and you. And so maybe you guys with, you know, some bread and cheese, you know, you'd be fine. That'd be, you know, nobody would crash on it. But maybe with him, his blood sugar is getting low, and that makes it more likely that he's going to pop out and then start channeling. Because, you know, when your blood sugar is off, then your brain doesn't get the right amount of energy, and it misfires all sorts of hormones and stuff. And I mean, for a person who doesn't have a bullying issue, they might just have a crying fit if their blood sugar crashes, or they might just get nervous, or their hands might shake. But, you know, if he already has a bullying kind of like some baggage in past lives causing him to have that propensity, like that level of fourth chakra resentment and pent up repressed anger, you know, that plus low blood sugar could turn into, you know, more of an issue. So food for thought about the, you know, maybe just try, you know, you don't have to make it obvious, but, you know, maybe think of what proteins that he likes and just have them readily accessible on a very regular basis, and think about, okay, when he has his worst episodes, has he had protein recently? Has he had like juice, or juice is incredibly high sugar, you know, fruits are incredibly high sugar, you know, even if they're healthy, you know. So anyway, food for thought. But also, yeah, get the clean outs for him from the angels. And you can see if any of that helps. Yeah, interesting issue. Part of it is, his dad doesn't really clear his repressed anger, doesn't really process his anger and his emotions. So he kind of copies his dad a little bit. But you can still ask the angels to help him with that. Okay, hope that helps. Someone says, thank you so much for the healing, Janet. You are welcome. Thanks for the emojis. Break. Yes, good. Breaks are good. Someone says, I also have questions about friends. I'm sure I have lots of armoring, turtle blocks, past life stuff, and dad energy in my space. And for the newbies, the references to turtles is there's one of the short videos in the short video playlist probably has turtle exercise in the title. And it's this really cool exercise that it helps with social interactions a lot. Basically, you're just clearing baggage that causes you to subconsciously shut off yourself from others. And it can, if you clear your turtle baggage, it can help in like really weird, fun ways. Like people are more likely to say hi to you, like friendly, nice people, that might otherwise kind of ignore you. They'll be like, hi. Because it's like this stuff that you do, it's very subconscious, so you don't know you're doing it. So it's like you're, you might be kind of shoving away positive interactions accidentally just because you're trying to, protect, because you have this baggage. So you clear the baggage, and then you're more open to positive, respectful interactions. So it's neat. Maybe that's the turtle reference people keep mentioning. What is the most important thing for me to heal so that I can attract the right friends and people into my life? Good question. Well, it doesn't look like you need a friend recess like the other person. It looks kind of like you have your dad standing in front of you, which is interesting. I used to see that sometimes when I did one-on-one sessions with people. There would be some people that had like some relative that would just like stand in front of them. Like, who are you? And what are your intentions? And like I was trying to read the person, respectfully, but they were like still right in front going, who are you? What are you doing? And so I would have to ask the person, I just say, can you ask your angels who I am and what I'm doing? And then the person would, stop, but it seems like your dad's doing that. He's kind of like chasing away people. Like, who are you? What are your intentions towards my daughter? He's doing it less with female friends, but he is kind of standing by the side, like looking at them in a slightly disapproving manner. So I don't know, maybe consciously he's a super friendly guy, but on a spirit level, he's a little bit in the way of your positive social mojo. Maybe on the astral, just I mean, you can imagine, a telepathic conversation with your dad and just say, Dad, can you talk to your angels and get some angel classes on allowing me to, have a social life, please, and she'd be like, I know you love me and you want the best for me. And I really am so grateful, but, can you take some classes with your angels, please? That way he can stop, kind of being a wet blanket on your social vibes. Without him being a wet blanket on your social vibes, I think that would really help your love life, in your like life friendships with females. It looks like you have some baggage that you could clear, like mom related, trusting women kind of baggage. So that it's sort of like a flavor of turtle exercise where you're pushing away interactions with women in particular, because of baggage with you and your mom when you were a kid. So yeah, you can just do blanket exercise and clear baggage. You know, it's like sort of like turtle baggage type stuff about friendships with women. Yeah, hope that helps. Let's see. Someone else says, throughout this healing, I kept thinking about wanting to move, look for a bigger home. A bigger home, interesting. I'm not sure if it's a goal of mine or I may have picked up someone else's goal by mistake. It does sound nice, though maybe it's something I've been avoiding or was unable to see due to all the outside drama noise I've been stuck on. I will journal about it. Yeah, it does look like your angels are giving you some kind of move message, but bigger isn't really the point. I think there's some kind of a lost in translation thing where they are bringing up the topic of moving, but it's not about the size of the home. So you can maybe just clear baggage that distorts the angel message for a little bit. And like you said, journaling is great for that. And just, give it time, but keep, you can clear the baggage and then give it time and, just clear baggage in the way of you having clarity about your angel messages, specifically about moving. Part of it has to do with like how you live close to family members. And kind of looking at that, the pros and cons of that. It's nothing urgent, but yeah, it is definitely something that your angels have been trying to talk to you about consciously. I mean, you talk to them on the astral for sure in your sleep, but consciously, yeah, you have been blocked about hearing that accurately. So you can, yeah, that would be good to work over time. You're right. Someone says, thank you, Jana. I enjoyed the 5 essentials. Felt concise, even though I've heard it so many times. I loved how gradually you went deeper in healing walled off parts from most passive to the repressed. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you for the foot chakra diagram. You're welcome. Da, da, da. Let's pull it up again just for kicks. Where is that one? I do like that thingy. Where is he? Come on, foot. Aha, here we go. Here's the foot. There's the foot. Let's see. Let's bring the foot forward. Oh, wait. There we go. Let's see if there's room for me and the foot. I'll put the foot over there. Let's put the foot over there. Looks like it's my foot, right? I gotta bring my leg all the way up. All right. Well, I'm glad you like the foot diagram. A little food for thought there. Yeah, so you can unblock those chakras just with gold light. And it's nice and helpful. Someone says, I had an incident with boys. I cleaned all day. Oh, you mean your sons. Okay. I had an incident with boys. I cleaned all day and had an acupuncture appointment. They had fought and throw apples all over. I broke in tears, cried while cleaning. I thought this is not me just during the healing. I read that it was one of my aunts from Florida, AUNTS, not ants on the floor, like aunts from Florida hanging in my fourth chakra. And the last section we did, it cleared it. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, throwing apples. That's kind of intense. Damn. Like whole apples? How many did they wreck? It's kind of wasteful. But whatever. So they didn't have to clean it up? You had to clean it up? That's kind of interesting. Do they have to do anything now? I mean, because they gave you a lot of extra work and they also destroyed food. Are there any repercussions for them? I mean, not that I need to know, but it's just an interesting question. All right. But yeah, was it your aunt and your fourth that made you cry? I think it was more creative ring damage that made you cry. But she was also in your fourth chakra, so I can see why it's like she came down from the creative rings into your fourth, and then we had repaired the creative rings a lot, but she was just kind of like hanging on to some energy blocks around your creative rings and then your fourth. So we finally repaired your fourth enough that popped her out for good. But yeah, I think initially she came in through creative ring damage and then down into your seventh, and then sixth, fifth a little bit, and then fourth. So creative ring damage can cause crying. I mean, low blood sugar can cause crying too, but creative ring damage can do that. Or like courting, someone majorly courting your creative rings can cause crying. Oh, you mentioned your aunt's initials, yeah. Well, sorry I had to go through all that. That's kind of a thing. But it's nice that you cleared it. Someone says, oh, you did have a good break. Well, that's nice. Good to know. Someone says, thanks, Janet, about the friendship recess. I think my angels had been trying to tell me to wait until we move to New York City and continue to work on myself, but I totally wasn't getting it, LOL. It has been really nice having time to myself and for my hobbies, but being alone is scary. Yeah, you could definitely clear baggage on that one. I think that's just your mom in your space. Because if you get good at being alone, then you really don't need her. You know, like part of how she kind of her in with you is like if you have sort of a knee-jerk need to socialize, you know, that's sort of her lane that she drives in. So yeah, if you enjoy your inner silence and your inner serenity and your own company more and more, then it's like it would be really hard for her to get in your space at that point. So how about that? But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that you could get a lot of benefit from, is working on enjoying your own company. More and more. Someone says, what part of this did, and you mentioned your brother's name, who got the healing as well. What did he like? What part did your mom like? Good question. Just want to see their names fully. Your mom liked the fourth chakra work, especially the back of the fourth chakra when we did that repair of the back of the physical fourth. She says that was her favorite part. She had a bunch of devices back there. She liked that the most. Her angels liked the most the heal, the walled off parts, because she has a lot of those. So that was their favorite. Your brother, he liked the clearing the chatter stuff out. His own chatter baggage and chatter beings and all that stuff. Because he says he gets a little bit, he doesn't get the ear ringing that you get, but he gets the invasive chattering energies. He gets that. So that was his favorite. And that's his angel's favorite too for him from today. Someone says, oh my goodness, my dad. Oh yeah, I'm face palming. Yeah, the one, your dad's the wet blanket on your love life. Almost deleted my comment. Yes, I struggle, especially with females and mom baggage. Yeah. I used to, years ago, I told this story a couple of times, but I used to, I mean, to be honest, I do enjoy male friendships quite a bit. Maybe sometimes more than female friendships, just because, I mean, it's a stereotype, but often it's true that men can have more of that simplicity in the mental stuff. Like, not stupid, but just like they don't get like 20 questions in their brain. They're just like bump it up. You know, they have more of a straightforward, just sort of say it like it is, bump, 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 like just a simplicity in that sort of evolved sense. Obviously, not all men are evolved, but you know, sometimes women can more often have that, you know, the chatter stuff. And I really like the silence and the lack of chatter. It's very nice for me. And the straightforwardness. I'm very straightforward. So sometimes I prefer a friendship with a guy over a friendship with a woman. But I used to have like more of an issue with that was more baggage driven and not just more like how I communicate and how my mind is. That was more just like mom baggage in the way type stuff. Because I was at this workplace when I think it was the first workplace I worked in. Well, one of the first ones during college. And this woman, she thought I hated her. She like pulled me over. She's like, what problem do you have with me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, she just was not someone I really thought one way or another about. And she said that I had a resting bitch face whenever I was looking at her. And so she thought that I hated her guts or something. And I was seeing a therapist at the time, I think. And so my therapist, you know, basically said I have mom issues. And so my subconscious mom baggage was getting in the way of, you know, I was like kind of doing this resting bitch face thing around women because of my mom baggage. So I cleared a bunch of it. And I think I don't have that now, usually. But yeah, that can definitely be a thing that you're like totally not aware of. Like, I was so shocked when that woman said that to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's funny. Funny. Let's see. Lost my place again. That same person says female friendships that I suspected were related to my mom baggage. Yes. More foot emojis. Yes. Power kick foot by Janet. Yeah. Someone says, hey, Janet, what do my angels want me to know about my aura? Oh, I like that. Very specific. That's good. There's this video of mine that I think might help. Well, okay, first they said your aura is not just one color, because I don't know if you think that, but a lot of people, some people, readers will say that, like, oh, you know, put pink in your aura because it'll help you with this or something. And so the way they talk, you would think that your aura is just one color, you know, and you only have one aura and it's just one color, you know, and, you know, so just put this one color in there and it'll help you out, you know. And so I mean, A, you know, that's kind of overly simplified, but B, your angels more want you to think of like just clearing other people out, and then that you have a whole tapestry of your own colors and your own energy. And so it's really just your colors versus not your colors. And that, so to kind of wash people out, you could use different techniques, and centering techniques and breathing techniques and, you know, whatever you want. But there is one video of mine that it seems like they like. It's pretty quick. I think it's like 3 minutes or something. So I will look it up and put a link in the chat to it. It's in that short video playlist. The playlist is called Shorter Videos. My YouTube channel page. I'm gonna pull it up. And then it's like got this weird title, which maybe I'll change because it is kind of weird. If people don't know what it is, they might not want to watch it. But it's like invasive people room technique is the, let's see, where is that one? Hope I can find it quickly. Yeah, clear people out of your space in 3 minutes. Invasive people room melt floor technique. A very weird title if you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just a 3-minute video, so I will link it in the chat. But it's just one way. I mean, your angels say you already have certain ways of getting people out of your space, but they're like, just keep it fun, keep it light. But, you know, just kind of wash people out with gold light or with earth energy, or, you know, in some clean way, you know, just, oh, wait, I have to do it this way. Okay. Yeah, there it is. So that was... So that was a 3-minute video to clear people out of your space. I just put the link in the chat for that. Okay. Someone says, hi, Janet, is there anything that comes up in my energy that I can best focus on? And you mention your initials, which I don't know. That doesn't... Oh, I know what you mean. You don't think I know you. You just want me to know your initials because it helps me as a reader. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. That's fine. Well, let's see. Your chakras, there's no chakra damage. your physical chakras in the back. Here, let me get this foot out of the way. So physical body chakras, right? The major 7, right, along your spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So the back of 6 through 1 are back here, right? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you could work on unblocking the backs of 4 through 1 more. Physical body 4 through 1 specifically. You could also work, if you're open to doing meridian healing, that could be nice too. You know, there's a nice video I think that would be good. It's a combo of, it works that urinary bladder meridian that goes down your back. And it also works your manifestation wings, which are back there, and your creative rings, which are above your head. It's only 5 minutes long. I don't know how I fit all that in 5 minutes. But yeah, that could be nice because it doesn't specifically unblock those chakras, the back of 4, 3, 2, 1, but it works the meridian back there. And so that could open up the energy enough for you. So I put the link, and then that video is a 5-minute video on creative rings, which is CR, and then manifestation wings, which is MW, and the urinary bladder meridian in the back, the part of it that goes through your back. But you could also work on unblocking chakras 4 through 1 in the back there. But you are moving forward at a pretty steady pace. So I would just say, if you just work on blocking those chakras and maybe, some back, I don't know, physical flexibility, if you do stretching and stuff for your back, maybe you could do that as a companion. But yeah, you're the back of your auras. You just do more gold light, just right, this whole part right here is just really kind of solidly, there's a lot of blocks right back there. So you just lots of gold light, just keep, angels, can you help me to melt this away? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area? And just keep melting it and unblocking it. Your grounding too, it tends to not go wide in the back, it goes narrow in the back. So it's part of how this is also compressed. If you make your auras, wide in the back as they are in the front, and then you're grounding as wide in the back as it is in the front, that could help open it up too. So hope that helps. But yeah, I would work on that. Hope that helps. Thanks for your question. Someone says, P.S. How often do I need to ask my dad about taking angel classes? He's super stubborn. Aside from asking him, and of course we're talking about subconsciously asking him, telepathically, not consciously. Aside from asking him, can I kick his butt back to the body respectfully? LOL. I can't see his energy presence. Yeah, because you're so used to it being there, probably. I mean, I don't know. I like imagining things, but maybe that blows your mind. But just imagine yourself and imagine, a prospective guy that you want to talk to, and then see if your dad's like standing there like a bodyguard in between you two, or if he's off doing his own thing. You see? So it's like it's like if you're playing dollhouse, but you're not controlling those dolls. You just want to see what the dolls look like, right? So here's your doll. You do whatever you want to you, right? And then the doll for the guy you're trying to talk to, just imagine it there. Don't do anything to it. And then where's your dad's doll? Is it right here? Or is it all the way over there, cleaning the house and doing something in the attic and, whatever, watching TV? Where's your dad's doll? Is it right there or is it away? And if it's right there, then yeah, you could say, angels, can you evict my dad? I mean, once your dad, generally angel classes, they're not just one night. It might be like a month of classes or several months of classes until he's graduated. So once he starts taking the class, you don't have to ask him every day. You can just, you know, yeah. I mean, I don't want to do it for you. Like, ask him if he'll take the class, because it's good practice to ask yourself. You can just imagine like a park bench kind of communication, you know, where there's a big long park bench. It's somewhere on the astral that your angels pick for you guys, and you're on one end of the park bench and he's on the other end of the park bench. And then you can even just communicate with message flowers and say, you know, Dad, I really need a social life, for God's sakes. I'm not 5 years old anymore. You know, please, you need to learn to back off. I love you and I'm grateful, but enough is enough. And then just, you know, vibe it nicely and healing and everything, and say, angels, can you heal? Can you adjust this? And hand it to him if it helps. And then, you know, that would be. And then, you know, you ask him for, you know, to take angel classes so he can learn to back off socially from your social life. Butt out of your social life. And yeah. So if that helps. Someone's saying is, and then they give initials of a person, first and last initials, thank you, is person courting to me or directing energy at me. Don't know if it's old energy with me. Oh, and you give your initials, thank you. And this person that's distracting my energy so much. They are courting you, definitely. At the 7th, at the 5th, at the 4th. Yes, 754 right now. It's pretty typical, it seems like. They court in the back here. You have a bunch of energy blocks back there. So you can just unblock, you know, back there extra. It's like you have these hard, you know how like my chair back here, right? So you kind of have that, but like it's really hard, like a bunch of energy blocks back there. And so just, you know, over time, just start to melt all it should be all flowing all around you, right? Flowing is strength. Flowing is boundaries, right? Crunchy means it's easier for someone to hook into the baggage and then pipe in their messages and whatever. So, yeah, they're courting you. And that's why you think about them, because they're running their energy through your 5th, and 5th is thoughts. I did link in the chat. One of the videos I linked is a 3-minute video on, you know, clearing people out of your space. That's an interesting technique. So you could select the blocks that person is courting at the moment to get in your space, and then just melt those blocks, and then that pops them out, which is kind of fun. But yeah, they're courting you. You can melt the cords. You can imagine you and them, and don't do anything to them, but just imagine the lines of light, the cords, and then just use gold light and melt the cords. But you got to melt the blocks too, because otherwise it's just so easy for them to cord back again. So I hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Someone says, thank you for the favorite part summaries. Oh, for your mom and your brother. It felt really, really good hearing what you had to say. I know the people, but now I get to learn more about their energy and how I can follow up with them when I see them soon and ask questions which are related to what you said in the live stream. Cool. I'm glad it helped. Oh, the person who asked about the boundary issues, and I said that person is courting you. Then you said, or is my therapist affecting my creative rings? Well, that's also possible. It's not an either or. It could be an and. I had a therapist doing that, courting my creative rings. Not my first therapist. My second one did that. My first one didn't do that at all, but she moved away, so I couldn't keep working with her. This was back in the day when This was decades ago when you didn't just work online with people. Ah. So is your therapist affecting your creative rings too? Now I gotta go back and figure out your initials again. Oh yeah, okay. So your initials and that your therapist. Your therapist is pretty respectful. Sometimes there is a chord. I think you chord them at the 5th. Yeah, you're courting them. They're not courting you. From what I can see. At the 5th. I think you just kind of, a part of you like doesn't have closure at the end of a therapy session. And so you just kind of keep talking. And they don't clear you out. They're not very good at clearing you out. But I mean, with that chord in place, then maybe you are more likely to hear their thoughts and their communication as, you know, in your mind. But yeah, you can just imagine, you know, like the therapy session is like having the book open and then just close the book and just be like, okay, I'm done. You know, all parts of me are going to be done with that therapy session. I'm not going to keep chattering about it over and over. I'm going to be reflecting on my own thoughts. I'm not going to just keep talking to that person. Because it looks like it's a part of you, a walled off part of you that just, you know, doesn't have closure by the end of the appointment. You could, you know how we did at the end of the healing, we did clear STEBs. That's really nice for, you know, even preparing for a therapy session or at the end afterwards, just cleaning up the debris, things that got triggered that didn't get fully cleared in the therapy session. I mean, because effective therapy, what it does is it clears energy blocks through discussion and, you know, reflection and all that, you know, and you know, if your therapist has boundaries with you and can just ask kind of insightful questions and stuff, you know, then you get to clear your baggage. You know, you clear energy blocks basically and get your grounding in good therapy, effective therapy, right? But you know, just like a good healing, you could still have stuff that's still triggered at the end of a therapy session. So then you want to, you know, clear that stuff. Otherwise, you feel like kind of maybe overly vulnerable, you know, in between sessions. So you can just make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it anything that's still triggered from the therapy session, and just, you know, bring up red earth energy, gold light, get everybody out, say, angels, help me clear this. You know, if this angels is just healthy and gentle to clear all this right now, and then just melt it all away. So I hope that helps. Oh, right. Your creative rings aren't that bad, actually. They look pretty good right now. Someone says, thank you so much, Janet. You're welcome. Someone says, thank you. Yes, that really helps me understand now what that suck energy in my back was. I totally had a hard time curving and turning it lately. It's already helping just knowing this is a real thing. Yeah. And that video that I linked, the one that works creative rings and manifestation wings, which are back there, and the urinary bladder meridian as it goes through the back. I do like that, the urinary bladder meridian that goes through the back. I'll show an image of that. Just let's see. There we go. Right there. Urinary bladder meridian with confetti. Even more exciting. So the urinary bladder meridian, it starts in the inner corner of the eyes, and then it goes up and over a little, and then it goes back, and then it, you know, it divides from 2 branches into 4 branches, and it goes down the back in this super cool way. And fun fact, some of those points in the lower back right there help with sexuality as well. Fun fact. But anyway, yeah, so you could imagine those meridians, and that urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura, like all the main meridians have their own Wei Qi aura, which is not you know, if you ask your acupuncturist, oh, the Wei Qi aura of my urinary bladder meridian, they're gonna be like, what? You know, that's something the angels told me about, you know, but the meridian itself is obviously standard traditional Chinese medicine information. But if you imagine the big force field that, you know, it's an aura all around you that is just to repair, just to nourish and protect the urinary bladder meridian itself, yours is like really scooped out in the back. Like it's supposed to be, you know, all like this all the way around, right? Your urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura, and yours is like whoop, it's like almost gone back there. There's not a lot of protection just for that urinary bladder. Your astral body aura, physical body aura, and most of your others are fine. But that urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura is like all scooped out and whacked. So just, you know, use lots of gold light and say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way, can you recycle them? And just keep using gold light till it like pops out and grows back. And then it should be easier to work those meridian, you know, those branches of the urinary bladder meridian. And then, you know, and that video will help too. That works the meridian itself. So I'm glad that helps. Someone says, oh my God, haha. Okay, yes, my therapist is actually an extremely good psychic. So she sometimes brings up new stuff she sees that just pisses me off. And I really don't end up getting closure sometimes. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Being a reader, there's a lot more than just seeing to being a good reader. You have to only read what people are ready to hear, which is actually far more complex in a way than actually just being able to read energy. So it's possible to read stuff that people are really not ready to clear. And so then you're just over triggering people. And you know, you can piss people off a lot, you know, so, you know, as you've experienced. So yeah, I don't blame her because I'm the one who asked her to tell me more stuff. Totally going to do the steps and uncord her. Yeah, that's a funny one. Yeah. Maybe just ask. You could, again, have a telepathic conversation with her. So imagine, you know, like the angels, have your angels pick an astral level for you and her that's like healthy and gentle for both of you and respectful for both of you. And then just imagine, you know, that the angels set up a park bench for you and your therapist to like have a little telepathic chit chat and just say, hey, you know, can you please have you're a really good reader and a good therapist. And I'm very grateful, but can you help, you know, can you have your angels help you to know what I'm ready to hear and what I'm not ready to hear? So that, you know, you can kind of pick and choose as a reader. You could say that in message flowers and then just have the angels edit it and give her the message flowers if they're going to help. That's the safest route rather than just like directly verbally saying something like that. Just put it in a message flower with healing energy and just say, angels, can you edit this and give it to her only if it helps. That way you don't even have to imagine the whole park bench thing. Just make some message flowers for her out of universal healing energy, some kind of rainbow colors and gold. And then say, angels, can you please edit these and give them to her if it helps? But just put that idea that, you know, not your energy, but just that request of like, you know, I'm very grateful and you're a very capable reader, but could you have your angels work with you on editing, you know, so that you read only what I'm ready to hear. So I hope that makes sense. Alrighty. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I'm more interested in your healings now and will check the sets. Well, good. Yeah. Feel free to get them or not get them, whatever is your path. But yes, I'm very, very open to working with newbies and yourself specifically. So just check out the website if you want. And that's a good wrap up anyway. So let me put Put my website up there. So that's my website, jwhealing.com. That's my email address. If there's any question that the website doesn't answer, feel free to email me. And there are 2 sets every month. And most of the people I'm healing, I heal 135 people in this set of healings, and it's kind of a typical number for me. It'll range from 120 people to 140 people these days. But most of the people have subscriptions, but not all of them. There'll be like maybe between 20 and 40 that don't have subscriptions, and so they don't get all the healings. They just pick and choose, you know, and buy them separately, which is fine, and I make sure that there are enough for them to choose that way if that's what they want, you know, maybe because they don't like the idea of a subscription, it freaks them out, or they just can't afford all the healings, or maybe they just have like irregular times that they want the payments to happen, so they prefer buying manually. But for whatever reason, yeah, you can pick and choose and just buy one set at a time if you want. And I have a newbie promo since I think you're a newbie. If you buy one set, you get another one for free. When I email you to thank you for the purchase, then I'll ask you which one you want for free. But anyway, okay. So you guys are amazing. I don't really have any more updates. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin if I don't end the live stream soon. So so we'll just leave it at that. But you guys are so awesome, and we'll end with some butterflies. How about that? So bye. You're so amazing. Oh, wait, we'll get rid of the theme just so we have just the butterflies. I like that. Let's get rid of that too. I'm so picky. There we go. Bye. You're the best. Take care. You're so awesome. Bye.